fan of Scott McTominay, so a rare smile on the face of Mr. Parker when he saw he wasn't in the team today. So yeah, loads of stories, and frankly, there's no way of knowing.
What's your take on Rashford?
For Rashford, personally, I'd like to see Rashford leave, because I think Marcus Rashford could have a Mo Salah-like development. I'd love to see him become the English Mo Salah.
Well, he's 24 now.
But now he's 24, it's got to happen now. I think PSG would be a great move for him. I don't know how real that is. I'm not a transfer guy, Russ. We go to people like Ben Jacobs who know their stuff for this sort of thing. Don't come to me for transfers, but I will say I do think he's very, very good. I'm happy to see him play. I hope he does well. But personally, from an English football fan, World Cup coming up, I'd love to see him go somewhere else and get better.
Just finally then, tell me how you think this might go and a key battleground that might decide this match. Normally a question for Paul Parker.
Do I get paid more for this? Do I get paid more for these
questions? I've been told one more by a producer. It's because you slagged off Watford, his team.
That's true.
He's going to make you work harder.
That's true. Work for free. Jamie tells me so. Look, I think it's going to be a really interesting game. I think Brentford will be physical. I think they will get Ivan Toney on Lisandro Martinez, and that's going to be real difficult for him to deal with. But I think Manchester United, it's so important for them. They have class all over the field. Underwhelming at times, though it may be. I think close, I think tight, but I think class will prevail, and I'd still back Manchester United today.
Excellent work. Tom Rennie and Paul Parker with us in just over 10 minutes for full build-up to that big game. Brentford, Man United in the Premier League. That's our last commentary of the day. One of the other big games of the 3pms was Man City sticking 4 past Bournemouth, the champions, with another resounding victory, all watched at the Etihad by the superb Toby Canos.
If you want class, Rush, and you want it regularly, and you want it on show every single time, go to the Etihad. Manchester City were basically playing a different game to Bournemouth this afternoon. They were sensational from the off. You knew they were going to win the game from the moment it kicked off. The question was how many? Well, by half-time it was 3. Ilkay Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden with the goals. Erling Haaland was desperate for one this afternoon, but it simply wouldn't come for him. But he was involved in the first one, feeding Ilkay Gundogan with a lovely give and go. Gundogan unerring to open the scoring after 19. 12 minutes later it was 2. Kevin De Bruyne taking advantage of one of those trademark Haaland runs in behind, taking the defenders away and then finding a gap to toe poke through expertly and make it 2. And then feeding Phil Foden himself for the third. He got a bit lucky, Foden. It was straight at the keeper really via a little deflection, but pretty awful from Travers in the Bournemouth goal. The second half, it was punctuated really by all of these changes. Pep Guardiola was desperate for 5 changes to be made available to him. Personally, I hate it because I think it makes for a disjointed second half so frequently. Really, though, City remained in control despite all of those changes. Haaland came off, looked disappointed to do so in such an easy game without having scored or really having a good chance to do so either. They did get their fourth 11 minutes from time. A cross from Cancelo turned into his own net by Jefferson Lerma. Bournemouth looked frustrated. They ended up getting ridiculous bookings for pushing people and all sorts, but they were beaten. This is not the sort of game that will determine their season, though. Manchester City comfortable. They won 4-0.
Excellent stuff, Toby. Thank you very much indeed, as ever. So Brighton 0, Newcastle 0. Newcastle clearing one off the line in the first half just from Kieran Trippier. The Seagulls ruining that. But they're both still unbeaten so far this season. 0-0 Wolves Fulham. The Cottagers missing a second half penalty from Alexander Mitrovic after Wolves had the best of the first half. The other game with goals saw Leeds winning 2-0 at Southampton. Reports of a possible sacking for Alf Hasenhüttl if they lost again. Back came the Saints to draw 2-2, all in front of Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, excellent second half to make up for a dour first, we've fair to say. And within 30 seconds of the second half, Rodrigo had given Leeds the lead. A lovely near-post flick from a Harrison cross, and then on the hour mark, 2-0, corner, headed on by Strauch. It was virtually on the line before Rodrigo thought, I'm going to have a second goal of the afternoon. It was going anyway, but he nicked it off his teammate, and it looked like curtains for Southampton until some inspired tactical changes. They started this season playing 3-5-2, Southampton. They switched it up back to the 4-2-2-2 that has been so familiar under Ralph Hasenhüttl. On comes Joe Aribo, immediately looks like a threat, had 2 efforts blocked before he eventually got his goal, bundling it home after it looked like the chance had gone. And then with 9 minutes to go, Kyle Walker-Peters, so industrious on the right-hand side, had been working so hard and was found in the box. Nothing really to aim at, but he found the tiniest sliver of the corner to put it in, and from that point Southampton looked like they might go on and win it. Leeds United were holding on, and there were some late opportunities. They couldn't find them, they couldn't convert them, and so Southampton 2, Leeds 2, and I'm still not sure what to make of either side really after these opening 2 games. It's going to be entertaining though.
Excellent, Mike. Thank you so much. Brilliant work there from Mike McCarthy down on the south coast for us. Those were the other 3 p.m. games. If you missed it earlier, of course, Aston Villa with a 2-1 victory against Everton. That was an eventful match with chances asunder at the end. Luca Digne stuck through his own net against his old club to make it tasty, but Danny Ings' well-taken goal and Emiliano Buendia to Ollie Watkins' assists, enough for Steven Gerrard's team to get their first win of the season. That is how we stand, with Man City and Arsenal topping the very early table. The 2 teams with 2 wins from 2, but the likes of Spurs or Chelsea could also join them depending who wins that game tomorrow at the top with a similar record. Early bottom of the table, by the way, is Palace, Forest and West Ham, but none of them have played their second game yet. The only team to lose 2 from 2 so far, worryingly, is Everton. Man United looking to get off their duck as they prepare for their game, of course, at Brentford in just about 20 minutes' time. Pleased to say that Eddie McGoldrick has rejoined me. Eddie, it's been an eventful day, your debut. Come back.
Yeah, great debut. Absolutely loved every minute of it. Yeah, and looking at the results there, Russ coming in. Yeah, some great fight back by Southampton. City comfortable 4. Surprised Haaland hasn't got on the score sheet.
And upset when he came off, interestingly, a little, but I suppose you'd want that as long as it's not disrespectful.
Yeah, absolutely. And that fire in his belly, Pep will like. Villa, great win for them. Everton, Frank doesn't get any money to spend to get a forward in. He could be under pressure this week already. But yeah, talking about Hassan Hüttl, good fight back by them, and Leeds looked comfortable there, didn't they? 2-0, but they've done something. He's changed something and it's freshened it up, and 0-0 at the bottom, Wolves and Fulham.
Okay, let's just finish then by picking the bones out of our game. How do we assess Arsenal? I know it's a really tricky question, but on the evidence of what you saw, what are we looking at for the weeks and months to come?
Very positive. Very, very positive as far as I'm concerned. Still lots to do. Let's not get carried away. We've been in this position before with Arsenal, with some of the squads over the seasons. But yeah, lots to look forward to. We need to tighten up defensively, that's for sure. Arteta will go away and rerun that video, and he'll look at things and he'll think, right, this we can tighten up here. But offensively, they looked awesome over the last 2 games, Ross, and lots to look forward to. Let's not get carried away. Another 3 games now that are potentially another 9 points. Let's have a look at it after the first 5 or 6 games, when they've got United, which will be a big test. So and
the Europa League obviously kicks in from the next midweek after that as well. So we'll keep a close eye. Bournemouth, Fulham, Villa to come this month. Southampton, Chelsea and Man U. That's Leicester's next 3 games. Just really quickly, how fearful are you for Leicester if things don't change? Yeah,
very much so. And like I touched on in the commentary, if they can get a bid for Fofana this week before the window slams shut, I would take it, because Brendan Rodgers needs to strengthen. And you can just tell by his whole demeanour and his body language on the touchline, he's not happy, and something is not quite right at Leicester City Football Club.
Eddie McGoldrick, an absolute pleasure. Hopefully we'll see you back very, very soon. That's the former Palace, Man City, Arsenal and Republic of Ireland midfielder Eddie McGoldrick, alongside me, Russell Hargreaves. It has been an absolutely barnstorming day of goals, drama, so much to look forward to. And believe me, that will continue. The fine company of Paul Parker and Tom Rennie. They're up next with Brentford versus Manchester United. But here, Arsenal 4, Leicester 2, your final score on Premier League. Eddie McGoldrick, an absolute pleasure.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talksport hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
An improvement week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talksport hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Previously on White and Jordan.
People are going to turn around and say this is all saccharine and sentiment.
I know about sentiment. What's saccharin?
Saccharin is a sweet way of looking at the world.
I thought it was a soluble aspirin.
Comment, conflict and confrontation.
By God, it was eventful to say the least of it.
You look at this and say, some celebrations are better than others.
Disagree to disagree.
Is it not a courtesy thing, though? Is it not a matter of courtesy?
Oh, yeah, because football's full of courtesy.
Are you serious?
I'm absolutely serious.
Jim White and Simon Jordan continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talksport. Talksport Breakfast, the only
family breakfast show worth getting up for. Talksport Breakfast with Laura Woods and Ali McCoy. Updated, upmarket, up with the lark.
What just happened there?
Talksport Breakfast, Monday to Wednesday morning from 6 on Talksport.
Mariella Meets on Times Radio. Listen to the podcast from Times Radio, where Mariella talks to a host of big names from the worlds of politics, entertainment, culture and the arts, including Dame Joan Collins.
A reporter said to me, "What are you going to do if this all ends?" And I said, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. One of the things you have to know about fame is it ain't gonna last.
Mariella Meets on Times Radio. Listen for free on the Times Radio app.
Talksport Drive, weekday afternoons from 4 on Talksport. Unrivaled, opinionated comment from the biggest names in sport.
Join me, Andy Goldstein, and Talksport Team Drive.
A tower of sporting power in the afternoon.
Adrenaline-soaked, seat-swapping high-performance radio where horsepower meets goal power.
Talksport Drive.
100% nationwide coverage.
Weekday afternoons from 4 on Talksport.
The fastest football on the way home.
Talksport Drive.
Hey, it's Brian Dunseth, former Olympian and current SiriusXM FC host. Do you need more than your average recap of the weekend in soccer?
Sorry, America, but it is the biggest sport in the world.
Well, look no further than Week in the Tackle. This podcast is all about stories we want you to know, from the most important on-the-field moments to the lighter side of the beautiful game.
You were jumping up and down like a lunatic. That's 7 beers before the game for you.
It's all on Week of the Tackle, available every Monday, wherever you stream your podcast or listen on the SXM app, included with most subscriptions.
Premier League Live with Talksport.
Through ball to Haaland, 1-on-1, no mistake. It's the dream debut for Erling Braut Haaland.
The goals, the stories, the sackings, the thrashings, and everything in between.
And it's Darwin Núñez with a little flick into the roof of the net. Instant impact again from the Uruguayan. Salah with the low cross. Núñez first to it, and he's flicked it into the net.
Let the drama unfold.
Turned in for 2-0, and it's Pascal Gross again, and it's all falling apart for Erik Ten Hag and for Manchester United.
Premier League Live with Talksport.
You are listening to Talksport's coverage of Brentford against Manchester United from the Brentford Community Stadium. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me for this one is the former Manchester United defender and title winner. Remember those days, Paul Parker. This is Premier League Live. It's been another week of tumult for a club who see themselves as better than this. Though what they are currently and how they get to where they want to be is not particularly clear. That's the primary job of Manchester United manager Erik Ten Hag, who didn't have the best of first games in charge, outplayed last week by Brighton at Old Trafford, beaten and exposed as they have been in key areas for some time, but with no new players coming in this week, it's his coaching skills that will be relied upon to right the wrongs of game week 1, declare last weekend a mulligan, and today the real start of something new. They're at a Brentford side today in their second Premier League season, who are always on the lookout for top club scalps. Last campaign, in their first game at home, it was Arsenal who felt the sting of the bees. Will it be United this season who find themselves with their thumb in the air at this West London bus stop, tail between their legs, heading back to the northwest with nothing to show for their travels? I know that was a bit tortured in the end, but it's the second week. What do you want from me? Here's the team news, starting with Brentford. 2 changes from last weekend. Yoane Wissa and Vitaly Yarnelt drop out of the starting 11 for this one, both on the subs bench. David Raya in goal, back 4 left to right, Rico Henry, Ben Mee, Pontus Jansson the captain, Aaron Hickey on home debut. Midfield, Mads Roslev, Christian Norgard, Matthias Jensen, and up front Josh Da Silva, the man who scored that second goal last week, and what a beauty it was. He comes in for a Premier League start, along with Brian Mbeumo and Ivan Toney. That is the front 3. On the bench is the aforementioned Wissa, Saman Ghoddos, Frank the Tank Onyeka, Thomas Strakosha, Keane Lewis Potter, Mikkel Damsgaard, the new signing, Shandon Baptiste, Vitaly Yarnelt, who we've spoken about already, and Mads Beck Sorensen. As for Manchester United, You guessed it, Cristiano Ronaldo is back in the starting 11. The only change to the team from the one that didn't have the best of days against the Seagulls last week. He comes in for Scott McTominay. McSauce is no more in midfield. It's David De Gea in goal. Back four, left to right. Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire, Diogo Dalot. Christian Eriksen back at the Brentford Community Stadium with Fred and Bruno Fernandes in midfield. Ronaldo through the centre, supported by Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford. On the bench, Tom Heaton, Tyrone Malacia, Rafael Varane, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Donny van der Beek, Anthony Elanga, James Garner, Scott McTominay and Alejandro Garancho. Stuart Atwell is our referee for this one. Oh, it's really hot. So hot, Paul Parker has got shorts on. That's exciting. How are you, Paul? You all right?
I'm fine, thank you, Tom.
You enjoying the summer?
It's all right. Bit longer than normal ones.
You look like you're out for a pint in Portugal as opposed to a Premier League game today. You've come very cash. You look great, but very cash.
But I react when it's needed to be, and that's what I'm here for, Tom.
Exactly right. That's why you're the pro, and I simply am not. I do want to ask you about Brentford. I know they're the home team, so with apologies to Brentford fans listening, let me start with Manchester United, because Cristiano Ronaldo starts, and whatever is happening with him, it is still the biggest story in town. He is still one of the most famous people in the world. What do you make to him return to the starting lineup, but also the fact that McTominay is the man dropped?
Well, I don't think he could start with Scott McTominay after that performance, and over the last few years when managers have been picking him, and that was always the reason why people keep saying he's good, because managers keep picking him. I think maybe he might have seen the light, Ten Hag, on this one, and just know he's not going to be a fixture in a side that he wants. With the Ronaldo situation, I think it sends out the wrong message to the players. Hasn't done a full pre-season with them, decided that he didn't want to do pre-season, and then all of a sudden he comes off the bench and then he starts the next game. It definitely sends out the wrong message to quite a few of the players.
Despite that, though, he doesn't really have many other options, does he? I mean, there was some talk going into this one that Anthony Martial might be fit because he was good in pre-season, he was going to be the striker. That was the story. Don't blame me, I don't write the stories, I just regurgitate them to you for opinions. But he's not in the matchday squad today, hasn't made it, so if not Ronaldo, there's not really anybody else, is there?
Well, there's no one else. There's no ifs and buts. Marcus Rashford can't do a job anywhere across the front line at this moment in time. There's no one to actually go there. It's just an absolute embarrassment for the club that they haven't actually got anyone sitting there somewhere down there in the under-23s, or someone who's just someone who's got the appetite to want to be there, or the manager considers can go in there, maybe start to learn his trade, is good enough to go in. And the fact of he hasn't gone and got anyone. It was a priority position, especially with Ronaldo saying he wants to go, and he's still saying he wants to go, and yet he's still starting.
Transfer window remains open until the 1st of September, so still plenty of time to do some business if it can be done by this Manchester United hierarchy. To Brentford, up and down last season, some amazing performances, but also 9 losses at home last campaign, so it certainly wasn't all amazing as maybe your memory might trick you to think so. Christian Eriksen was so good for them. 18 chances created for Ivan Toney alone when he was at the club, 6 more than any other player. Many feel, I put myself in that camp, that without Christian Eriksen they may well be a championship side right now. He is not there. How do they make up for that loss?
Well, I'm in that camp as well, but he was the difference between them staying up and them going down, and well, he was there and he was the difference. I think now that with Damsgaard coming in, Mikkel Damsgaard coming in, I think that just might fill a space there and maybe fill a little bit of a berth with Christian Eriksen. But I still think they've got enough there to still stay up. I think they've learned from that situation they got themselves into. Ivan Toney was dropping far too deep and not doing the job he's meant to do. And Bueno was the one trying to keep going through the middle on his own, threatening a lot, but with no punch at the end. So I think they've still got enough there to go out and really maybe get what they from what they deserved in this fixture last season. Was a win at home against Manchester United. It is all about Manchester United's attitude from what it was last weekend. If they get that bit right, they'll be in the game, and they should win the game with the players they've got.
Well, let's hear if they have put that right this week on the training pitch. Erik Ten Hag is their manager. We shall hear from him. Before that, it's the Bees' Thomas Frank.
There's no doubt that Man United are favourites. They can't afford not to win against us tomorrow. Of course, we believe, and we will do everything we can to beat them, and I believe we have a good chance. I believe it's going to be a fantastic game in many ways. But this is Manchester United with the same players as last year, plus a very, very good player that I guess I will get a few questions about during this press conference. So there's no reason for me to use my words on him already now. So they are in a better place. But do I believe we can do something? Yes.
I know there is always pressure, and I have the experience how that is, and I know we have to win every game, and I know the fans, everyone expects that Man United is winning every game. So that is, we have to deal with that, and all of what I can do is to prepare my team as good as I can, and I'm focusing on that.
I think no doubt with his qualities, you can also see it in the last game. I know he was used in two so different positions during the game, as a 9 and as a 6. You can say that that's a flexible player, but obviously his qualities on the ball is key, and we know we can't give him too much time because he can see the ball between lines, he can see the ball behind, and got the qualities to put it on a string for any player.
We learned a lot, but I think it's normal. When you start a season, every season is in that part is the same. The team get together, you have to get a way of playing, especially when you are new, what we are, when you have a new start, and you make mistakes. Football is a game of mistakes, and so we know we have to improve in many facts, and clear.
Lovely country and western vibes for this very, very hot day in West London. Let's get to kick off. It is a big one. It's Brentford against Manchester United. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Global events.
The priority now is collecting the evidence.
Breaking news.
Every life that they can save is a success.
Reactive analysis.
It's a very bizarre situation.
From the world's best journalists.
An unfortunate pattern is emerging.
And renowned experts from across the globe.
It still doesn't resolve the fundamental issues.
Keeping you informed as events unfold.
This is a flagrant violation of international law.
Times Radio is available to listen without a subscription. On DAB digital radio, online, via the Times Radio app, and on your smart speaker. Times Radio. Know your times.
Talksport Drive. Weekday afternoons from 4 on Talksport. A tower of sporting power in the afternoon.
Join me, Andy Goldstein, and Talksport Team Drive.
The latest sports news, hard-hitting opinion, and exclusive interviews with the biggest names in the game.
Under the bonnet, over the top, into the back of the net.
Sports Mad Afternoon Radio, driven by you.
Revs up weekdays from 4, only on Talksport.
The fastest football on the way home.
Talksport Drive.
Previously on White and Jordan.
It costs the taxpayer zip, zero, zilch, nada, Nathan, nothing.
White Hot Sports News. Incomparable comments.
I mean, honestly, soft tissue injury, 50% up.
Okay.
And at the same stage last season, they don't lie.
Statistics are the beginning of a conversation, Jim, not the end of it.
Comments, conflict and confrontation.
International friendlies, ditch them. Gone. Carabao Cup, gone. FA Cup, gone.
Jim White.
4 words, never going to happen.
Simon Jordan.
Go away and come back when you've got something more grown up to say.
Continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talksport.
Yeah.
Times Radio, making sense of a changing world. The biggest names in politics.
The Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, is here.
Well, a great honour to be here.
The arts.
My first guest is the acclaimed director, Werner Herzog.
Entertainment. I'm joined by Darren Brown. World events, at home and abroad.
Shots have been fired in the Black Sea.
And the world's best resourced, intelligent opinion.
I came into politics to change lives.
In times of change, be well informed. Times Radio is available to listen without a subscription on DAB digital radio, online, via the Times Radio app, and on your smart speaker.
Times Radio.
Talksport Breakfast. Weekday mornings from 6. A new day, a new dawn.
God bless, bang, 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 9 dart finish.
Featuring a rotating team of top name talent, including Laura Woods.
Oh, it does make me a little bit...
Ali McCoist.
What a mouth-watering
prospect, Alan Brazil.
You know, you are some blagger, you are.
Talksport Breakfast.
Look, we've woken up, finally.
We're off and running.
Weekday mornings from 6 on Talksport.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Brentford against Manchester United from the Brentford Community Stadium. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me is the former Manchester United defender, Paul Parker. This is Premier League Live, and Brentford have given some big names, some tough games since their promotion to the Premier League, with fans in attendance today hoping for a repeat of last season's opening day win against Arsenal. They will be wary, though, of 9 home losses last season, with only Watford and Norwich, who both went down, suffering more. Second season syndrome is real, and the Bees will need their home form to avoid it. Just one of the last 7 promoted sides have managed to move up the table in their second campaign, of those who did stay up. As for Manchester United, they had a tough loss against Brighton last weekend, and with this week a barrage of terrible headlines and po-faced think pieces about where it's all gone wrong. Everyone's got an opinion, but only one man's matters, and that is the boss, Erik ten Hag. Spiky, combative, a disciplinarian. He needs that first win as soon as possible, and needs those above him then to get their jobs done in the transfer window. They lost last weekend. United haven't started a season with 2 consecutive defeats since the inaugural Premier League campaign back in 1992. Team news, starting with Brentford, is David Raya in goal. Now, we had this as a back 4, so I'll give you it that way. So, some talk there might be 3. Paul Parker will tell us shortly. Rico Henry, Ben Mee, Pontus Jansson and Aaron Hickey as a 4. Mads Roslev, Christian Norgard and Matthias Jensen, 3 in midfield. Josh De Silva, Ivan Toney, Brian Mbeumo up front. It's De Silva and Roslev coming in from Visser and Janelt last week. They dropped down to the bench. Also Saman Ghoddos, Frank the Tank Onyeka, Thomas Strakosha, Keane Lewis Potter, Mikkel Damsgaard, the new signing, Shandon Baptiste and Mads Beck Sorensen. As for Manchester United, in their diabolical new third strip, which is kind of like I'm not very well green, David De Gea is in goal. Back 4 left to right, Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire the captain and Diogo Dalot, Christian Eriksen, Fred, Bruno Fernandes in midfield, Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford and that man, Cristiano Ronaldo up front. One change from last week, Ronaldo in for McTominay, who's on the bench. Also Tom Heaton, Tyrell Malacia, Rafael Varane, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Donny van der Beek, Anthony Elanga, James Garner, Scott McTominay, Alejandro Garancho. Stuart Atwell is our referee. Paul Tierney is the dreaded VAR. And folks, we are underway with the final Premier League kick-off of the second Saturday of the season. United wearing their really atrocious green third strip shirts, shorts and socks, all sort of lime, I'm not very well, mountain dewy green. They kick from right to left as we look in this first period. Brentford the other way, left to right, famously with the same shirts as last season. The exact same shirts, the only club to do that. Red and white stripes, black shorts and black socks. Paul Parker is alongside me. First question, what's the Brentford formation?
It is a 3 at the back, Tom. And Roslev has gone to the right side of the 3 with Pontus Jansson in the middle. And on the left side it is Ben Mee. And I think Hickey will be the right wing back and Rico Henry will be the left wing back. So
Roslev drops into a defensive trio. Paul, thank you for bringing us up to date on that. What kind of game are we expecting here? Already quite energetic.
Yeah, we're going to expect a very quick game. United have to go and
pass into Ronaldo. He goes down. No free kick given there, edge of the penalty area.
Sorry, I just stopped there because I was just embarrassed what Ronaldo tried to do when he could have carried on as well instead of doing what he's done. I was about to say it was a decent start for United. It's quite quick, it's quite sharp rather than ponderous. But I think they've got to go at the game. They've got to go out trying to attack, trying to score, looking a little bit more enthusiastic than what they did last weekend.
It would be hard to be less infused, wouldn't it, than what we saw in the opening stages last week from Manchester United. It's a very, very sunny early evening in West London. It's been hot once again in England. We're looking at 30 degrees Celsius temperatures. That's around 92, 93 Fahrenheit for those listening in the United States of America who go with the air and not the sea. But it's hot and humid. Maybe not perfect for football, but if you take the lead, Paul, in this sort of temperature, as you saw last week when you were at the Man City West Ham game, it's a tough place to be when you're 1-0 down and the opposition keeps the ball.
It is. I mean, I don't think either of these sides can say are anywhere near the levels of Man City with ball retention, but it does make a difference. If you do get that early goal, then you're asking questions, and sometimes if the team are not in the right frame of mind, you can have an easy ride.
No easy ride so far for either of these teams in the opening exchanges. No opening chances as yet, though a good intensity about the opening minutes. Leicester 2, Brentford 2 on the opening weekend. Came from 2-0 down, Brentford to get their point, so they were fit and firing and ready last week. Man United less so, infamously, as Jadon Sancho tries to run down the right-hand side here. Initially was held up, and then eventually gives the free kick away there. Good defensive work by Matthias Jensen over on that far side.
It was as well. I mean, Sancho looked like he'd done well to get past him, and he allowed Jensen to come back far too easy and gave away a weak foul in the end.
3 minutes gone. Ball upfield fired towards Tony. It's found its way to Mbumo. Good win in the air from Luke Shaw, who today makes his 150th career appearance. The Manchester United left back. Flick round the corner, hidden Ronaldo to Bruno Fernandes. Back to Cristiano Ronaldo. Drives one from long range. Didn't the crowd enjoy that? Mainly because it was under hit and easily saved.
It was. It's a little bit ambitious from Ronaldo, but he started quite sharp. I mean, he's fallen down quite easily for some unknown reason. He fell down. And then he's got hold of the ball very quickly, shifted it out of his feet, and he's had a strike at goal from I'm going to say about 35 yards.
Well, if anyone can do it, it may well be Cristiano Ronaldo. But that particular chance didn't trouble the goalkeeper. At the other end, there's a chance here for Bryan Mbumo. Bouncing ball, running onto it, causing trouble, causing a little bit of confusion there in the back line of Manchester United. It was finally Lisandro Martinez at centre-half, playing his first away game in the Premier League. And it's going to be a long throw from that far side here, which originally Aaron Hickey was going to take. He will leave it now for, I think Pontus Jansson's gone over there to take this.
No, I don't think it's Jensen. I think Jensen's in the box.
Well, he's now left it for Matthias Jensen, who's going to throw this in from the right-hand side. Was Ethan Pinnock last year was doing the long throw, but of course he's out for the moment. But it is a clear tactic from Brentford to do this. They've got targets at the near post. One is Ben Mee, another is Tony, who flicks it on. It breaks to Mee in the area. Ben Mee pokes towards goal. It's loose momentarily. Norgard chases the loose ball down. It forced United to clear it over the end line, and it's a corner kick.
Yeah, there's a little bit in the mess there, United. Very tentative. No one wanted to stick the leg out in case someone went over it. So no one took any responsibility. In the end, they managed to get it out for another corner to Brentford. I should say a corner to Brentford. The
first corner of the game for Brentford on the attacking right-hand side. One of the better teams in the Premier League from set pieces last season. 16 goals scored. Arsenal, Liverpool, City, the only teams better than the Bees at finding the back of the net from these scenarios. And Mbumo's delivery, left-footed, near post, cleared away, not very far. Drive at goal from Rico Henry, left-footed, got right underneath it. The ball spins away from goal, and the attack comes to an end.
I mean, it was a corner when he cleared quite easily, and Rico Henry's come in. He was never in control of himself, let alone trying to get control of the ball.
At Talksport Live is the place to get in touch with us. Let us know where in the world you are listening, and indeed your thoughts on the match at Talksport Live. A few people already responding to this Manchester United kit. Someone has sent me that meme of a crying Cristiano Ronaldo wearing it. I'm pretty sure that's a meme and not a real photograph. C has said rubbish United kit to go with the rubbish team at the moment. Chin up, C. It's 6 minutes gone, second game of the season. You never know. Keep them coming in to at Talksport Live. We always like to know where you're tuned in from as well. Long ball, left to right, Manchester United, midway inside Brentford territory. Sancho picks it up, back to goal. He finds Dalot behind him, square to Fred. Fred preferred to McTominay in midfield today. He finds a pass right to Christian Eriksen, who's getting booed by the home support. Turned down a return to this stadium to go to Manchester United during the summer. Overhit crossfield ball there from Eriksen, then Shaw slightly miscontrolled it, and it's him against Hickey, a 50-50 ball. It was won by Hickey, and the referee says it was too strong from Shaw.
Well, I think that's a little bit soft by the referee. Luke Shaw had to go forward on that, had to go for it, and I think he's just been played a little bit by Hickey. Yes, there was a follow through, but if you don't run, you don't get the ball, you don't get a follow through. So the ref was a bit soft. That could have just been in the end just a throw in rather than giving a free kick.
Quick thought on Aaron Hickey, playing in your position, of course, right back or right wing back today, but in that channel, near £20 million he's coming from Bologna. Another really good Scottish fullback. What do you make to him? And also the fact that they would spend that sort of money on him.
Yeah, I'm surprised when I saw that they'd gone and spent that kind of money. That tells you how far forward they have come as a football club, Brentford, how much they've grown to go out and spend that kind of money. And they brought in a Scottish international from an Italian side. That tells you they are moving forward and they're doing it in the right way.
He started the 2019 Scottish Cup final for Hearts against Celtic when he was just 16 years of age. 36 games for Bologna last season, 5 goals scored from fullback in that time, 4 caps for the Scottish national side. He's an up-and-coming, very promising young player, and he's just won another free kick for his team here on the right-hand side, caught late, midway inside Manchester United territory. He's over the ball here. High line from Man United, a good 8 yards outside their area.
Seriously high line.
That clearly is what the manager Erik Ten Hag wants. It's what the modern coach seems to want. Brentford have got a move here, but it's really poorly executed. It was into midfield, and Norgard who looked to flick it onto Mbumo right hand side, but that was really poor from Brentford's player of the year last season, Norgard.
It was. He's got too much onto it. The idea was right because all the players had gone towards the far post. It was Bueno up against 2 players, and he would have outrun them if the ball had given him the opportunity to chase.
And there's some chasing being done there by Brentford over on the far side. The goal kick was taken short. The pressure was put on Maguire. And here's a ball upfield was blocked. It's a throw into Manchester United, right back area, right by their defensive right corner flag.
They've just set themselves up to do that, Brentford. They're not going to allow Harry Maguire any time on the ball. They're going to really put him to the swords.
And that pressure, high pressure, has once again seen them win the ball, and it's a great goal! Oh, David De Gea has spilled the ball into the back of his own net, and it's 1-0 to Brentford, and it's Josh Da Silva. Oh, the story last week of his comeback from injury was brilliant, and now he's capped it off in week 2 with the opening goal against Manchester United. It should not have gone in, but this should not be happening to Manchester United, and it is. It's 1-0.
Not at all. De Silva's just had a shot. I'm thinking to myself, don't hit it too early. Get yourself set. He hits it early. No great pressure. Easy one for De Gea. De Gea took it as easy. Took his eye off the ball, I should say, but I think there may be more than that. A little bit chocolate fingers by what he's done there, and that is so sloppy from David De Gea. He's been taking a bit of stick for a bit of a while from the fans. They're blaming him for a lot of things, but he's got to accept it for that. That was scandalous. The goalkeeping, that was scandalous.
Oh, David De Gea. It's a really bad moment for the title-winning Manchester United goalkeeper, part of Sir Alex Ferguson's title-winning team of a decade ago. That was really poor from him. But Josh Da Silva, I mean, let's talk a bit about him. Hip injury kept him out for 11 months. He came back last season way off the pace, hamstring problems. Great goal last week, open to scoring this week. We'll come back to it as they're coming forward here, Manchester United, trying to fight back immediately. Sancho Fernandes gets right underneath it. Bruno Fernandes, as he did last week in the opening exchanges against Brighton. And once again, Bruno Fernandes lacks composure.
He does, and he seems to have lost all that composure. I think on his behalf, he should go back to empty stadiums. He's a good player in empty stadiums. When the crowds are coming, he just can't deliver. How many times has he been in that position? And the Brighton one, as you mentioned, come to mind. Just hit the target. All you've got to do is hit the target, and he hasn't done it. Far too many times he gets underneath it. He totally does lose all his composure when it matters.
I hope the atmosphere is coming through loud and clear on our FX microphones around this stadium. It is absolutely fantastic right now at this newish venue in West London for this newish Premier League team. But it's Manchester United coming forward again, right hand side, crossed by Sancho, corner of the area, that's blocked over on the far side by Rico Henry, not for long, clearance doesn't go far away. Eriksen, deep ball right to left, aims towards Marcus Rashford, who I don't think's touched the ball as yet. Now he does, following the half clearance from Hickey. Left hand side, ball back on the floor, diagonal to Lisandro Martinez, who steps forward from defence. Eriksson leaves it short for Rashford. Rashford back to Lisandro Martinez alongside Harry Maguire at the heart of their defence today. Maguire down the right channel to Sancho. Sancho tries to push and run around Rico Henry. Dalot helps him out and recovers it, but his pass back to Sancho was straight to the Brentford man, and the Bees can clear. They flick it up to Brian and Mbeumo, but Fred will get there first, and Manchester United will take possession again. At 12 minutes gone, it's Brentford 1, it's Manchester United 0.
Well, United have had to react. They're moving the ball a bit quicker. Still haven't created a thing yet at this moment in time. There you are. There he is. There's Marcus Rashford just there. Hasn't touched the ball yet, and he's given away a foul. A sloppy foul. It was a pointless foul. Fullback was going nowhere.
Paul, let me go back to Josh Da Silva. We didn't get the chance to get your response to that, considering he'd been out for so long. He was, such an important player for the majority of the season. They came up before that injury came in. I mean, how hard is it to come back from essentially 18 months of barely playing a game to 2-2 in the opening weeks of the Premier League?
Oh, it's very, very difficult. When you're talking about a hip, you think about to that hip to have had a problem, that meant you was compensating with all the other parts of your body, so you're weakening them. So by the time your hip's right, you then got to fight to get your other bits of your body strong again, get them agile again as they were before. And if I remember rightly, he got sent off at Spurs as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
From a rash challenge, and people tried to say mentally it was sheer frustration. Yeah. Exactly right. I've been there a little bit, not out continuously for 11 months, but it was spread over a certain amount of time, off and on, and it's a horrible feeling because you feel like a spare leg.
Hard to not feel happy for Josh Da Silva. I know it won't be comfort for Man United fans or David De Gea right now, but here he is, Da Silva, flying and full of confidence. Lovely skill to get away from Fred. Low cross comes in. It's away by Martinez at the near post. Recovered by Bruno Fernandes. Good play from Fernandes initially, but he's given it away to Jensen. Then a chance for Mbeumo. Mbeumo drives a shot right into the stomach of Harry Maguire. Ricochets once again to Brentford though with Jensen. Lovely turn. Chance for Hickey. Bit of space. Out on the right. Da Silva in the area. Here is Da Silva in the area. Low cross towards Mbeumo. Well cut out by Lisandro Martinez. Is in a foul by Christian Norgard as United look to break. We can breathe, and I think if anyone's breathing heavy right now, it's that Man United defence.
It certainly is, and they're on the edge of defence. They're being pushed and pulled all over the place, and on this near side to us, I don't know where Luke Shaw is, but I tell you what, he must be playing centre half because it's so open on the right hand side. They're getting so much space to play in and get in behind. Da Silva's having the time of his life at the moment. It was just a shame in that moment that he went to him and he's on his right foot. He needed the ball into the box first time, and he's so predominantly left-footed, he just wouldn't gamble using his right foot.
Penny for the thoughts of Dean Henderson right now on loan to Nottingham Forest, who he alleges was told was going to be the number one goalkeeper at Manchester United last season, and has not had kind words to say about his still current employers despite being on loan to Nottingham Forest. David De Gea, the number one. Oh, Brentford pressing high, and Brentford have won it again here, and Maguire has gone to ground, and he has fouled Ivan Toney right on the D, on the edge of the penalty area. He has gone for the ball, so it will just be a yellow card for Harry Maguire, but Manchester United play themselves in trouble. Once again, Harry Maguire does not cover himself in glory. It was an awful ball into Eriksson, who tried to knock it round the corner, intercepted by the high press, and Maguire, well, did he have a choice but to dive in like that? I don't know.
Well, if he doesn't dive in like that, then I would say Ivan Toney gets to the ball. Him and Bueno will get into the ball. But Harry Maguire, he was trying to play thinking he was Beckenbauer, trying to dictate wherever he was with his hands. And then he gives the ball to Eriksson, which was an awful position to give someone the ball, where he could have actually made the pass himself, what he gave the ball to Eriksson for. It was absolutely selfish play by Maguire.
And it's led to a big chance here for Brentford. It's right on the edge of the penalty area, almost dead centre as well. Jadon Sancho has gone to ground here. He's going to be the draft excluder behind the wall of green. Rashford, Maguire, Ronaldo, Dalot in it.
I'm surprised you picked him up. I thought I saw something just pop out the grass.
It's an optical illusion.
It is. What colour is it? Is it a line?
I shudder to think, as do United fans, about this free kick, I'm sure. And Mbeumo is over it, as is Jensen. And it's going to be Jensen just over the crossbar. Tried a delicate little chip into the top corner. Just got a bit too much on it. Wasn't really well directed either. and that's going to be a goal kick to Manchester United, and Paul, a huge sigh of relief.
Yes, without a doubt, but I'll just look at it, and there's 3 Brentford players which are blocking the view of David De Gea. If he just hits them, yes, it's going to go straight at David De Gea, but you just might pick up the pieces because he's going to see it quite late.
Oh, they've been called again here, United, in their own area. Chance, goal!
Shocking.
It's Jensen for Brentford!
Shocking.
From a Manchester United goal kick to 2-0 to Brentford. In seconds, in moments. What is happening to Manchester United? What is going on at the Brentford Community Stadium? Every single player in green, so bad right now. Erik Ten Hag shakes his head. It might be Southampton in the 90s all over again. Change the kit at half time because something has gone dramatically wrong. Get the grey kit out. Someone get Fergie on the phone with the blue and white one. It's all going wrong. It's 2-0.
I just don't know why teams try and play like this. I don't get playing football on the edge of your six-yard block. Is there a law saying that you have to play out from your 6-yard box, otherwise it's null and void what you do next? Because that is football madness. If you've drawn 3 players in towards you, that means there's space further up the park. They don't do that. They give it to Eriksson again with someone in behind him, and he's going to block him. He'll give away a foul just to break the play up. It's absolute football lunacy the moment they're playing. It's lunatic football.
And it's a first Premier League goal from Matthias Jensen, who put in some sterling performances last season without scoring. I'm not sure in the entirety of the last campaign he would have been gifted a chance as good as that. Brentford 2, Manchester United 0 at the other end. They're trying to come forward here, United, but there's no way through Christian Norgard. And there's a chance here for Brentford to break again, and Mbeumo is too quick for Martinez. And he just couldn't keep it in. Martinez committed there to try and stop them getting down the sideline. Shaw was not going to catch him to cover, and Mbeumo just couldn't keep it in.
Oh, it's such a shame that is so marginal. I would call for VAR on that.
If only they checked such things. If only. Erik Ten Hag, by the way, is right on the edge of his technical area. He's a very angry man at the best of times from what we've been able to see so far. A really unhappy face. Standing out in the sun. I hope he's got his sun cream on. You need it today with hair like ours. But he is going to be furious right now, isn't he? Absolutely furious. What is happening here?
First of all, don't bring me into it. I'd like to stay away from that, Tom. When you're talking about hair, talk about you and Ten Hag.
You put it off so well, that's the trouble. Here's a chance for Cristiano Ronaldo. Ball ricocheted to him on the edge of the penalty area, broke off the leg of, I think it was Ben Mee over on that far side, the former Burnley central defender. Broke back to Ronaldo, tried a swinger, and that's exactly what it appeared like, and it swings right over the crossbar. We're at 20 minutes gone, folks. It's Brentford 2, Manchester United 0.
I will say that as much as the people who own the club, you're only as good as what's in front of you. And for them as a business, this isn't good. Yeah. So the priority is to get this bit right.
These aren't bad players, though, are they? A lot of these, I mean, you might think some are better than others, but I mean, that's a multi-million dollar put together starting 11.
I think there's a lot of bad attitudes there, and there's a lot of players that we've had far too many managers at the same place, so they need a change of venue. They need to go somewhere and understand what life is like at a functioning football club. At the moment they've had it far too easy, earning too much money. They're in the comfort zone.
Well, Christian Eriksen was at a functioning football club. This one, Lisandro Martinez was at a functioning football club. They have been at them recently.
Yeah.
But
I'm not talking about them, Tom. I'm talking about the ones that they turn up in the dressing room, they saw sitting there, the ones giving them the dirty looks when they walked in, because, you're new kids on the block. This is the way that we do it. Well, sorry, no, it's not, because that's been wrong for the last few years.
Here is Luke Shaw, left-hand side, deep cross, Rico Henry away. Recovered by Sancho on the right-hand side, pokes it down the line to Dalot, who'll get there. Dalot cuts it back, good block by Ben Mee, a veteran of performances just like this for Burnley over the years. Very good man to have at the heart of your defence when 2-0 up against Manchester United. You would expect some sort of siege over the next 70 minutes. Right-hand side, Sancho to Dalot. Knocks it back on the right-hand side to Bruno Fernandes. Pitch here is still bathed in sunshine, around 75% of it, apart from the penalty area of Brentford, where United are currently attacking. Here is Maguire, short to Dalot on the right-hand side. Brentford defence right across the edge of their own penalty area. Fred back to goal, centre of the pitch, forward ball, Bruno Fernandes, first time back to Luke Shaw. All a bit slow, all a bit, someone take charge please. Here is Maguire on the right hand side, still just outside that offensive third here. Eriksen, you can hear the boos, and why not, from those supporters who wanted him to stay so desperately following his successful stint here last season. Shaw into Fred. Fred with a clip out right. Picked up by Dalot. Bit of space. Right footed cross. Looper. Deep ball over everybody's head. Rashford trying to make something of this on the right hand side with Hickey. Hickey's too strong. Won't let Rashford round him. And Scotland 1, England 0. It's a goal kick.
Well, in theory, I hope it stays in the same theme, that Scotland very rarely end up winning. We'll need a comeback from England.
You may hope that. I'm not too sure many Brentford fans listening, or many neutrals come to that. We'll be hoping that's the case. Brandon says Man United look like they're dressed like the Grinch, and they are certainly the football team who are going to steal not just Christmas but the entire season. Very nice. Very nice, Brandon. Keep them coming in to @Talksport Live. Brentford flick round the corner and Bummo run from Hickey. Loves to get forward, doesn't he, Aaron Hickey on the right hand side. Intercepted that time. United forward to Sancho. Rico Henry too fast. Christian Norgard gets it away from him, but it's good work by Ronaldo and Sancho to win it back. And Sancho finds Rashford. Rashford, edge of the area. Shot comes in, blocked by Me on the way through. No way through. Chance again here for United to be dangerous. Cross comes in from Bruno Fernandes. Diving header from Ben Mee this time, almost on the floor. Dalot, found by Ronaldo. Shot by Dalot. It's bobbly. It's on target, but it's easily saved by David Raya.
No great pace in it. Again, we're seeing United. Still that little bit of problems with creativity. Nothing clear cut. Christian Eriksen can't get on the ball, and the problems that he's finding is the tools that he's playing with. They're just not good enough around him, really. They cannot retain the ball. They've got no composure on the ball, a lot of the players. It's an absolute mess at the moment, Manchester United.
They have lost their last 3 league fixtures after the back end of last season, start of this. They've not lost 4 in a row, either side of a summer or at any time since February 1979. They ended last season with 6 away losses in a row, their worst streak for 41 years. The last time they suffered 7 consecutive away league defeats was 11 back in 1936. I know it's one season to another, and I know that doesn't quite work because of that, but also, I mean, not much has changed in terms of personnel, so it still counts for something. Something has to change, and what's changed so far is not enough.
No, it's not enough. It's well short. There's still at least 3 signings for Manchester United to make to show anything this season, to even consider Conference Cup. Is it Conference Cup or League?
It's the Conference League.
It's the Conference League, to consider that.
But you do get a cup at the end of it.
Right, okay, thank you for letting me know that.
I should mention, sorry, we are just prattling on here because it's a drinks break.
Yeah.
It's very hot. 32 degrees according to Paul's mobile telephone device that he's been looking at here for weather tips, not just scrolling through social media. He's very focused. So it is very, very hot. And so we are taking drinks breaks in the Premier League this weekend. That does give me a quick moment just to mention the other scores of today. Aston Villa 2, Everton 1. Gerrard beating Lampard. Arsenal 4, Leicester 2. 2 goals for Gabriel Jesus at Emirates Stadium. Brighton 0, Newcastle United 0. Manchester City 4, Bournemouth 0. No goal for Erling Haaland. Southampton 2, Leeds 2. Leeds were 2-0 up in that game, and a goalless draw between Wolves and Fulham. We are back with you tomorrow on Premier League Live. 2 feature games for you. Nottingham Forest take on West Ham United. Jesse Lingard derby, let's go with that. And Chelsea against Tottenham. On Monday, I'll be back with you for Liverpool up against Crystal Palace. So we are jam-packed on game week 2. Arsenal 4-2 winners. I know you saw some of that in the green room. Looked decent, didn't they?
They did. The scoreline certainly flatters Leicester.
Gabriel Jesus as well. He's going to do well there.
Oh, he's played really well.
Good last week, and the first goal, folks, if you've not seen it, get on your internet machine and have a look for it. It's sensational. And a curling chip into the top corner to get things going for Arsenal. That's going to be a real match, as is Brian Mbeumo and Ivan Toney. And we're back underway, and already they're combining. Tony flicks onto Mbeumo, just kind of didn't know what to do with it, really. Turned back towards the danger of green shirts. They've won it back, United, but all Maguire can do is kick it into touch.
Yeah, Mbeumo for me, he's just a smidgen away from being a really, really good Premier League player. It's just his decision making sometimes. He's got a good change of pace. He can beat people so easy on the run when he's standing still because he's got great technique. Not far away.
Not far away here in the third here. Brentford, Josh Da Silva, who scored the first, is driving down the right-hand side into Hickey. We're in the offensive third here. Hickey, turn of pace, lovely skill. Surely gets a free kick off Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes dismissed it like it wasn't going to be a free kick. But the moment Hickey hit the deck, I felt it was going to be. We're getting the replay now. I think Hickey has certainly put a bit of sauce on it, but it's thigh to thigh. He's under control of the football, and you're going to get that.
Yeah, the last thing I want to see is Bruno Fernandes moaning at somebody for diving.
Yeah.
It's not really painting a good picture for me when he does that.
On Brian Mbeumo, by the way, 4 goals, 7 assists in the Premier League this season. Only Tony had more, significantly more, 17 goal involvements. But he has recently switched international allegiance from France to Cameroon in the last few weeks or so, last couple of weeks. So we'll hopefully get some international experience and recognition soon as well. Probably wasn't going to get it for France.
No. Did you want me to think about that?
No. It's just letting people know information. Yeah. It's not always a conversation. Free kick here, edge of the area. It's 5 yards in, 2 yards away. Corner comes in, and it may well have been finding the bottom corner of the net, which is why I said corner there. I thought it might have gone in. David De Gea punches the ball away. Good skill from Josh Da Silva. Then a bit of a dive over on the far side. He's drawn Dalot into a foul. He's got it. Beautiful skill to get away from 2 players by Da Silva, who's a man in just pure confidence right now, the way he's playing. It was a superb turn to get away from Rashford initially.
Yes, it was just a little bit of strength and a bit of pace and some skill as well. This is a lad who never cut it at Arsenal, by the way, and you wonder why, don't you? You do wonder why at that moment when he's going through it, why it didn't happen for him at Arsenal.
Well, one wonders whether it was a change of scenery, change of club, playing some football he needed. Sometimes that's what the world of professional football is all about, Marcus Rashford. Free kick here over on the left-hand side. It's about 14 yards away from the end line, near the corner flag. Ball whipped in, and it's away at the near post. It may have come up Pontus Jansson on its way through, kept on by Hickey. Cross comes in, hits the retreating Rashford, and that's a corner for Brentford.
Yeah. They deserve corners well. They've worked hard. Their dead balls are causing Manchester United so many problems. They've got big lads in there. A lot of his players have played in the lower divisions, so they know a little bit about having to be tough and having to be physical as well. United players are not used to it.
And that conversation about handball.
It was a handball by Jansson, wasn't it?
Seeing a replay of that, Maguire was sort of pulling him back, but his arm went up. It was a clear handball, and this should be a free kick to Manchester United. It's not. It's a corner kick to Brentford on the attacking right-hand side. Their second corner of the match. And Mbeumo takes it, deep delivery, big rise at the back post, on the goal line! It's the third! It's the third goal for Brentford! And it's Ben Mee! It's Ben Mee, signed from Burnley! And he's turned the ball home for a first goal for Brentford. Well, the defending from Manchester United is poor, but Brentford are simply blowing them away. Erik ten Hag with a scowl, like a mother-in-law who's just seen her son come home from a drunken night out. Absolutely furious he looks. But I'll tell you what, he's got every right to feel furious. It's a deep corner, it's a great rise at the back post. And when it falls into the path of Ben Mee, he simply couldn't miss a yard out. I'll tell you what though, Martinez on the line. The shortest defender in the league, he simply couldn't get up with Ben Mee. That's 3.
Well, it's nothing to do with Martinez being the shortest. It's about he was looking to get physical rather than just trying to win the ball. Jump at the ball. Don't worry about Mee. Mee's going backwards. He should have won that ball at the far post, but that come about as well from the fact of United not being able to deal with the ball in the air, in the box. And on the other side of it as well is that Ivan Toney was being marked from the corner by Christian Eriksen, and he runs off of Christian Eriksen onto the back of Dalot, and he's got to run. He's going to beat anybody in the air. It was poor defending all over, with a poor performance as well at this moment in time.
It's a career 10th Premier League goal for Ben Mee. 9 of them have come with his head. Last time he scored when it wasn't a header in the Premier League back in 2017 against Manchester City. A little break in play here because someone has come onto the field. and so the stewards had to just remove the person in question. That has now happened. We're back underway, and if you're just joining us, we're 30 minutes gone here, and it's Brentford 3, it's Manchester United 0. The first 2 goals coming from really poor defensive moments from Manchester United. The third couldn't stop the sheer height and power of Brentford at a corner. Paul Parker, how do you come back from this?
It's very, very difficult when you think they haven't shown, not as if they've shown anything going forward, and there's a belief there. And United have been behind so many times. I've been with a side, we've gone 3-0 down and we've come back and drawn 3-0. I think that was at Sheffield Wednesday. But the way United are at the moment, you don't know how he's going to do it. You look at the bench, you think, how can you really change it? And there's not much is going to give you inspiration that's going to change it at this moment in time. It's a buy-in moment and a clear-out moment for Manchester United.
I wonder if Christian Eriksen might be regretting his career choices at this moment in time. Of course, he was playing at this ground as a home player last season. Here's Martinez, new signing for Manchester United, one of the new guard, along with Eriksen, outright to Dalot, in towards Fred, intercepted by the retreating run of Christian Norgard, throwing over on the far side, which Sancho will take quickly. They're trying to make it work here going forward, Manchester United. Eriksen with a ball right, Dalot pokes it down the line to Sancho. Sancho looks for the run of Eriksen in the penalty area, right hand side, still getting booed, cross blocked by Me, shouts of handball, but no way. Me had his arms behind his back. Recovered here by Maguire. Maguire into Fred. Fred right of centre. Finds a pass to Shaw. Shaw then to Bruno Fernandes. Eriksen wants to score, is the chant you can hear about the stadium. And you can understand why.
I'm just wondering about how United are going to change it, because this could go to 4, by the way they're playing at the moment. When Brentford get the ball anywhere in that half, attacking half, they look like something's going to happen. United are going from one side to the other, not actually making anything out at all. No opportunities, nothing clear cut. They've been very, very poor.
Maybe now Sancho turn of pace, poke to Fred, Janssen there, Fred keeps it, right to Dalot, low ball, Sancho, nice turn, intercepted though by 2 converging Brentford defenders. It was Matthias Jensen who got there first, and he clears it long up towards Tony, and there's a break on, and it's into Mbeumo for 4-0! 4-0! 4-0 to Brentford. It's Brian Mbeumo who scored the 4th after just 35 minutes. This is the massacre of Manchester United in West London. Unbelievable scenes in the sun in West London. A team in their 2nd season in the Premier League, and they are eviscerating maybe the most famous name the division has ever had. It's so simple, it's so easy, it's so brilliant. It's 4-0.
Sometimes, Tom, when I'm saying things, why don't you tell me to be quiet? It's just absolutely amazing how that's happened. And I said about get it into the half. Seems like they just might go and score another one. And there it is. Those 2 up front created something from an amazing counter-attack, an amazing first-time ball by Ivan Toney to Mbeumo, and what a finish that was. What a finish that was. Nothing to do with De Gea. That was just a quality counter-attack with a quality finish.
First goal in the Premier League this season for Brian Mbeumo, the now Cameroon international forward, 4 goals in the league last season, a quarter of his tally already achieved today. 4-0 to Brentford. It's 4-0 to Brentford, and we still have 55 minutes and additional time remaining of this game. I mean, this is as bad as anything served up under Ralph Rangnick or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Oh, without a shadow of doubt. This is pitiful. There was a game at the end of last season, there was a game at the end of the season before, I remember it so well, at Goodison Park, where United got thrashed. But this is absolutely disgusting what I'm seeing here. I am seeing nothing. Absolutely nothing. And there was so many reasons why things are wrong. I talked about Ronaldo starting the game and how certain players will take that personally. I look at players asking questions, why haven't they gone out and got what they wanted to improve? There's a lot of players who don't really care. It's a problem.
Brentford aren't done here. They are not done. They're coming forward again with Hickey. Edge of the area into Mbeumo in the penalty area. Josh De Silva, who scored the first. He'll find a nudge through, recovered by De Silva, into Jensen, who scored the second. It's left now, deep ball, finds Mbeumo, does it, it's cleared away by Luke Shaw. It was a delivery towards the back post by Roslev. Strong challenge, breaks the way of De Silva, challenged by Fred, who's done well to win it back and try and start the counter for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes over the top, Rashford puts the afterburners on, keeper's come a long way, he's jumped with Rashford, he's beaten Rashford, and he keeps it in too. Does David Raya, who then blasts it down the right channel.
He's done absolutely brilliant there, Ray. Didn't have to come out, shouldn't have come out, but when he did come out, he done the job. Marcus Rashford has brushed past his shoulder. I just think he's gone down of embarrassment more than anything. He's staying down like he's injured. There's nothing wrong with him. Raya's done absolutely brilliant when he wasn't needed there, by the way. Roslev was doing the job, the ball was going wide. That's sometimes why I hate goalkeepers who come out when they don't need to, especially the one who done my cruciate ligaments when I was playing.
Yeah, but you've moved on, you've forgiven him, right?
I have forgiven him, but when I see him I will remind him.
Yes. Physically?
No, just by words.
Not these days.
No.
You've calmed down a lot these days, haven't you? You're a cool guy these days.
And he's a lot bigger than me.
If this was 1993, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
But of course, if it was 93, Man United will be good. I mean, tell me, Paul. I mean, we're at a break here because Rashford has stayed down, but talk to me. What's happening here?
I can only say no different to anyone else. I feel sorry for the people who have driven down 220 odd miles. Yes, someone will come out and say, but a lot of them are in London, but there's a lot more who come from Manchester and further afield. And what they're seeing there is an absolute disgrace. The problem is above, but there's still a problem on the pitch with the players. And it's an absolute disgrace how these players have gone about this, how they're playing, not really caring. Haven't seen one tackle. Not one. They have not given away one foul, I don't think. Nothing there. You ain't seen anyone where you're saying he's got to calm down. Someone come out and say he's showing passion. We're not even seeing that. We're seeing a lot of them are just gutless.
Rashford's all right, and he's going to try and continue. I can tell you a couple of fans have ruined their best bedsheet with a Glazers out banner in the Manchester United away section. A feeling that is oft repeated these days. Glazers time to go is the message. I mean, look, they've saddled the club with debt, there's no question about that, and I'm not here to defend them, but they've certainly invested money in buying some players this summer, not as many as they would have liked, the supporters, but I mean, Martinez isn't free, Eriksen's wages aren't free, they've got Cristiano Ronaldo, whose wage is going to be massive. I mean, I don't know, is it about investment? I don't know, honestly I don't know. We'll come back to it as Josh De Silva is driving forward right hand side here by the corner flag, too strong for Fred, lovely poke infield. Roslev back to De Silva, brilliant from Josh De Silva, but his pass back towards Christian Norgard was poor, beaten to it by Cristiano Ronaldo, who then goes down to win a free kick for his team. Even Ronaldo's back to try and help out here.
I will say as well, Tom, he's gone over under Ollie, the decisions to give a lot of these players new contracts. I could never understand it because they had 2-3 years to go. Why were they giving away contracts to Bailly, to Phil Jones, all these players who are never going to be regulars? They were given out contracts for fun, needless, and they've got a lot of players there on loads of money. Clubs can't even afford to take them on loan.
Even the signing of Christian Eriksen, a great player and all that, but why? Why do they need him when they've got Bruno Fernandes and there are other issues? You know, even that doesn't make sense to me. Here's Rashford, linked with a move away this week, moving into the penalty area here, tries to take Roslev on the outside, no way around Roslev, and the ball will bounce through to goalkeeper David Raya.
It's been a walk in the park for Brentford at the moment defensively. They've had nothing to really deal with. The midfield-wise, they've closed them down in midfield. United haven't broke through the back four. They haven't gone beyond the midfield and found a gap in between to attack anyone, in the back three. They haven't shown anything. They've still got, as you mentioned, the best-known footballer in the world in their side. They've got a £73 million right-side player. Somebody on the left-hand side, they've got a player who Manchester United say is worth 120 million. And they wouldn't, that's what, if you want to buy 120 million, doesn't make sense. And they have not laid a glove on the back three or the back five of Brentford.
42 minutes gone. Brentford 4, Manchester United 0. For those just joining us, Brentford 4, Manchester United 0. Here come Manchester United, all in green for maybe the only time ever. Sancho, right-hand side, in the area, takes Rico Henry on the out. No way through, keeps possession, back to Dalot, into Fernandes, awful pass. Brentford, if they break, they could be through again, but it's ricocheted to Christian Eriksen over on the far side, will pick it up. Eriksen into Bruno Fernandes. Chips it right to left, brought down by Luke Shaw. Into the feet of Cristiano Ronaldo, back to goal, back to Fred, into Fernandes. Ronaldo runs, intercepted by the retreating Ivan Toney, who gets the block on. He then says he was pushed by Ronaldo, doesn't get it from the referee Stuart Atwell, cleared away not very far. Into Christian Eriksen from Shaw. Eriksen right to Maguire. Approaching the offensive third. Maguire wants a pass. He has to go back to Lisandro Martinez, who's been clotheslined there by Ivan Toney. Just shuffled the ball away from him, and then he did take an arm in the face. I mean, that was a little bit clumsy there from Toney.
Yeah, it was a little bit, and I don't think Martinez is going to forget about that one.
No.
He's Argentinian.
Though, to be fair, I'd kind of back Toney in a physical battle should it actually come to that.
On my part, I'm going to say sizes and everything.
No, but you would say that, wouldn't you? But it's a family show, so we can't go down that route any further as Dalot carries the ball out on the right-hand side to Sancho. Good ball to Ronaldo. Sancho onto Fernandes. Good challenge to Silva. Fred, Shaw, in space. Luke Shaw, cross, blocked by De Silva. Header won by Eriksen, breaks to Christian Norgard, who clears it. United desperate for a goal before half-time. They're trading 4-0. Of course they're desperate. Maguire picks it up, 10 over the halfway, and it's into Bruno Fernandes, who comes deep. Bruno Fernandes nudging forward. Bruno Fernandes shoots from distance. Well, why not? It's over the crossbar from Bruno Fernandes. It opened up for him. There was no one to pass to really for him, and they've noodled the ball around left to right to no avail for 40 minutes. But over the top goal kick.
I mean, it was opened up, but he's tried to curl it. He ends up again getting underneath it. As soon as it left his foot, you just knew it was going to go high.
And the fans at Brentford, always in good humour. That's why you're going down. To the Manchester United supporters. Hey, look. As I always say, our good friend Richard Connolly, the first season after Sir Alex Ferguson left, said here on Premier League Live, used to the champagne, the Manchester United fans, they might need to get used to the tap water. And they've certainly been served up plenty of it over the decade since.
I thought you would have at least gone to Pomaine before you'd gone there.
It wasn't my gag.
Right, okay.
It wasn't my gag. And we didn't have the time for the full range. I mean, Mountain Dew feels apt for today, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Late chance here for Brentford to make it 5 before half-time. Here's Hickey, who's been superb. Josh De Silva also. Back towards Norgard, forward towards Jensen, left towards Ben Mee, who's also scored today. And it's Ole's around the stadium now. That's how easy the Brentford fans feel this is against Manchester United. And why not indulge yourself? Long ball from David Raya, far too long that time. Toney was sort of caught by Luke Shaw, I think, as the ball was blasted long. And we're going to have 4 additional minutes. I think the Brentford fans would like the second half to continue immediately. United go long towards Ronaldo. Roslev heads up in the air. Brought down by Norgard. Robbed though by Bruno Fernandes. Jensen helping out. Robbed again by Bruno Fernandes. Chance for Christian Eriksen. You can hear the boos. To carry left here for Man United. Into Fred. Fred forward. Where's he going to go? It's into Rashford. It's a poor pass to Rashford. And it's Shaw then who has to retrieve it. Lisandro Martinez. He's got space to go into. Brentford happy for him to walk into that space. Crossed by Shaw, too close to Raya. Oh, he's flapped it a bit there, David Raya, but luckily Rico Henry was alert to it to just head it back to Raya, who made the initial error. And that attack was, well, was it an attack? I don't know.
It wasn't an attack. Luke Shaw just put in a pointless ball. Goalkeepers made it look more difficult than what it really was. I mean, what they're doing here, just virtually just making sure they can't go through the middle. They're saying, go wide, go wide. United won't go wide. Sancho is so tucked in. They know that Marcus Rashford, he'll go wide, but he's always going to come inside on his stronger foot. Very, very narrow. That's why they can't create space, because they've closed all the space off by playing so narrow.
Heading towards half-time here, I think the social media world might collapse under pressure of tweets about Man United in the next 15 minutes or so. We want yours too, to @Talksport Live. Send them in and we'll discuss them at half-time. as Maguire in his own area under pressure from Tony, has to knock it back to David De Gea. Long from him, Ronaldo on to Rashford. Brilliant defensive work by Pontus Jansson to stop him, and then Hickey gives it to Ronaldo big time. That is a foul from Aaron Hickey, but I tell you what, Hickey has been superb today. What a competitor he looks like with the Scottish fullback into Ronaldo, takes him into the kind of the side, the hip.
That was a proper clump, wasn't it?
Noted.
Shoulder to shoulder, proper. And I'll tell you what, at the moment, he's cost £20 million, he has. He's looking way over that.
Yeah, it looks very good.
Defensively and going forwards. And he's got a little bit of guile about him as well. That's that season in Italy.
Free kick, Eriksson takes it midway inside Brentford territory. Raya's come a long way here and he makes the catch. It was looped deep towards Maguire, but David Raya, didn't he read it well? And after that flap a couple of seconds ago, it could have gone either way. That I was worried for him for a second there, but he's dealt with it well.
Oh, I had faith in him. I knew he was going to get that.
Why?
I just did.
Your predictions are so good today.
Let me just say that I saw a lot of these playing the Championship, and I tell you what, they're good players. And I said last season they wouldn't go down, even though they had that moment. I thought to myself, I've got this wrong here. But they're a well-run club, and the structure, everything about it is so good.
It's worth mentioning as well, we spoke about Eriksson coming in and not saving them so much, but for shorthand saving them, but also David Raya being missing for 4 months nearly cost them, didn't it, in the season. Alvaro Fernandez went in goal and did his best. Chance here for a final goal of this half for Brentford. They're winning 4-0. Do they need it?
I'm going to turn and say if they score a fifth, then the game's definitely over.
Shall we shoot off? Free kick on the halfway toward the near post, intercepted by Bruno Fernandes, who gets there first before Christian Norgard. He then screams at his teammates for not being alert to it. I mean, he's absolutely right. And it's another corner here for Brentford. May well have been offside, Norgard, if he got there first. We're seeing that on the replay, but it is going to be a corner to Brentford, their third of the match. They scored from the second one.
They look like they went man to man from that situation. Virtually just kick your left back in that hole and block the hole. Don't run out the hole, and that's why they nearly got in.
And Bumo and Jensen over it, both scorers today. Corner is deep into Tony, who brings it down, corner of the area, looks to find a pass in field, intercepted by Fred, challenged by Fred, and that is the end of a first half which, if you thought last week was bad, Manchester United fans, this has been significantly worse. Paul, in a few seconds, sum it up for us.
Not very good.
Expertly done. I'm going to use the words of Bill Murray playing Pete Venkman in Ghostbusters. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. That's how it's been at the Brentford Community Stadium. Half time, it's 4-0. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Previously on White and Jordan.
Well, we didn't budget for this money. Surely we want to give it to our lesser cousins. Yes, and the moon's made of cheese, right?
Clash of the Simon.
The modern day fairy tale today in English football almost inevitably involves money.
There's no such thing as a no-score draw.
But this will be an exercise in goodwill. Something that the Premier League is bereft of.
How biased is Trevor? Sort it out. Seriously, sort it out.
White and Jordan.
The nation's primary destination for a triple distilled opinion and blistering debate.
Weekday mornings from 10 on the world-famous Talksport.
Times Radio. I'm Mariella Frostrup. Join me as I talk to renowned guests about the worlds of culture, lifestyle and entertainment, including Sir Michael Palin.
Python's always been, I think, a nice mix. It's about human behaviour and what we do and how we sort of mess ourselves up.
And Werner Herzog.
When you look at family romance, it's a deeply humanistic film. It is a very essential of my films.
From auteurs to icons, artists to activists, join me, Mariella Frostrup, for the radio show dedicated to exploring the ideas that shape our times. Mariella Frostrup. Monday to Thursday afternoons from 1 on Times Radio.
Stories of our times from the Times and the Sunday Times.
One agenda-setting story told in depth by experts.
I'm Manveen Rana.
I'm David Aronovich. Go beyond the headlines with original quality journalism and exclusive interviews.
What happens in the next year may define this country for the next 40 years.
We take you to the heart of the stories that matter. With exclusive access and reporting, you'll hear from the best and most informed journalists from the UK's most trusted newspaper. It's published for the start of your day, and you can listen for free on the Times Radio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search The Stories of Our Times.
John Pienaar at Drive, Monday to Thursday afternoon from 4 on Times Radio.
We're going to be talking about the news. We're going to be discussing it and explaining it.
Join John Pienaar for the Drive Time show dedicated to the news that matters and the views that need to be heard.
I'm going to give people the time and space to tell us what they think, and I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm going to help you make up your mind.
Trusted news, insight and opinion that speaks for itself. John Pienaar at Drive,
4 to 7, Monday to Thursday
on Times Radio.
Hey, I'm Brian Dunseth from SiriusXM-FC. Every Monday, join Tom Rainey and me as we go all around the soccer world on our podcast, Week in the Tackle.
Enter our private circle.
From the significant...
There is a lot of reason to think they're going to win this tournament.
...to the absurd.
This little car comes on, like...
We cover the soccer stories we find interesting on Week in the Tackle. Available for free on Stitcher or your favorite podcast platform.
We're back. It's Premier League Live. It's Tom Rainey and Paul Parker with you. It's Brentford against Manchester United, and if you weren't with us, here's what's happened. High pressure. We've seen them win the ball, and it's a great goal! Oh, David De Gea has spilled the ball into the back, and it's 1-0 to Brentford, and it's Josh De Silva.
De Gea took it as easy, took his eye off the ball, I should say, but I think there may be more than that, a little bit chocolate fingers by what he's done there, and that is so sloppy from David De Gea.
Oh, they've been called again here, United, in their own area, chance, goal!
Shocking.
It's Jensen for Brentford!
Shocking.
From a Manchester United goal kick to 2-0 to Brentford. In seconds, it might be Southampton in the 90s all over again. Change the kit at half-time because something has gone dramatically wrong.
Is there a law saying that you have to play out from your 6-yard box, otherwise it's null and void what you do next? Because that is football madness.
Corner kick to Brentford on the attacking right-hand side, their second corner of the match. And Bumo takes it, deep delivery, big rise at the back post, on the goal line! It's the third! It's the third goal for Brentford! And it's Ben Mee! It's Ben Mee, signed from Burnley! And he's turned the ball home for a first goal for Brentford. Well, the defending from Manchester United is poor, but Brentford are simply blowing them away.
Poor defending. All over, with a poor performance as well at this moment in time.
Fred keeps it right to Dalot, low ball. Sancho, nice turn. Intercepted though by two converging Brentford defenders. It was Matthias Jensen who got there first, and he clears it long up towards Tony, and there's a break on, and it's into a Bumo for 4-0 to Brentford. It's Brian Bumo who scored the fourth after just 35 minutes. This is the massacre of Manchester United in West London. Well, yeah, Paul Parker's with me. Paul, you cover Manchester United a lot. Of course, you won the league with Manchester United. This is meant to be the new dawn. This is meant to be the start of the recovery for Man United following that awful time under Ralph Rangnick and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. What's happening?
Well, if it's the new dawn, they want it to go back dark again, don't they? They don't want it to stay as it is. It's awful now.
Why? Why is it so bad? What's happening?
I was in teams that we went behind and we were 2-0 down before half-time and you get a rollicking, but there's still a bit of fight about it, and that's still a bit of belief. You don't just suddenly stop. You don't just all of you suddenly pack in. But under Ollie, if you remember, they went on this run, didn't they? This great run of being unbeaten away from home. Yeah. And nine of the time, I'm going to say about 90% of the time, they went behind, but they got this about them, they can fight back.
Yeah.
Well, that was a myth, really. That was just made up because it was a lockdown league. If it had been in stadiums, it wouldn't have happened so regular. Because it was in a lockdown league, teams were struggling to play at home. I'm looking at this mob here, and they really don't care. There's no way back from. Can they go out?
Surely not. They don't care. Surely not. I mean, does Martinez not care? Does Maguire not care? Does Eriksson not care?
Well, you show me something where I'm seeing someone care. Like I say to you, yeah. I've not seen one foul. Someone kick out and you think yourself, at least he's showing a bit, it matters to him. I'm watching Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw can't help but foul people every time because he doesn't want to run back, he blocks people. He's not even doing that now. How many of them be pleased if they get dragged off? I've just ticked off 4 subs who I think he might bring on. He can't bring them on all at the same time, but I've got 4 players off the bench I think maybe who might come on. And then I haven't even got a chance to look at who he's going to take off. But that was a poor showing from one of the biggest clubs in the world on how to show that you don't really care about winning a game of football.
Look, I think even Brentford fans would appreciate here that we are talking about the Man United angle of this, and I do have a Brentford question for you, but let me just ask you about Erik ten Hag first before we get to that. I mean, do you recover from 2 games like this? I mean, they haven't lost this one yet. They may well win 5-4 and it would be, you know, the start of whatever. But to lose at home last week and be poor, and then to lose like this today, assuming that's what happens from now, I mean, can he recover?
Yeah,
would Rangnick have recovered from this?
Well, Rangnick was a different story. I think we look at it now, there's still a chance for him to recover because there's still a chance that Manchester United can give him what he wants as personnel.
Right.
You can give him a better midfield. You can definitely give him a better forward line. And he's got enough there, and he might need one more defender, but he needs to sort out his defence. You can't have Varane sitting on that touchline.
No.
Sorry, not with what he's got in his locker.
Would you bring him on now?
I'd bring him on now.
Yeah.
And maybe, at the best for Harry Maguire, you might put Martinez into midfield. Or if you bring him on, you take off Harry Maguire and get someone who's going to be a little bit more fluent on the ball.
Hey, look, Martinez is a Ten Hag man, and he's been very poor. So, you know, it gets the right players in is a whole other question. Let me just ask you about Brentford, because De Silva, Jensen, me and Buma with the goals. The first 2, look, mistakes defensively, sure. The goalkeeper with the first one, the entire defence with the second one, probably De Gea most notably. Not great defending from a corner for me for the third, and a great breakaway for the fourth, and Mbumo scores. But they've been exceptional, haven't they? I mean, so many standout performances from Brentford.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It isn't about Manchester United being poor, it's about how good Brentford are. And they should have known that when they went in that stadium. I've been saying it for absolute age. All the time I talk about Brentford, I can't say anything negative about them, and I'm sure a lot of QPR fans don't like me saying it, or Fulham fans, but Brentford as a club have been fantastic. As a team they've been fantastic. Majority of his team, or all of his team, have all come through the Championship. Manchester United have been beaten by players who have played together at Championship level, so they've been brought up on blood, sweat and tears. United players are just brought up on how many followers we got, and what about our sponsors.
Paul, go and get a cup of tea, mate. You've earned it. Maybe don't pour anything from the hip flask in it, and we'll see you for the second half. Elsewhere today in the Premier League, it finished Arsenal 4, Leicester 2, Brighton 0, Newcastle 0, Manchester City 4, Bournemouth 0, Southampton 2, Leeds 2. Leeds were 2-0 up in that game. Wolves 0, Fulham 0. We started the day with Gerrard against Lampard, the biggest discussion of 2005 here in English football. Today's argument was won by Steven Gerrard. Here's the Everton boss, Frank Lampard.
There are lots of solutions, and the reality is the back 3 today has never played together. We know we're not playing with a major number 9 at the moment, and Dominic's out for a few weeks. Amadou's coming to the team. We saw a little glimpse of what he's going to give us in a positive way, and then maybe some business that we're going to do in the next few weeks. So I'm not concerned in the bigger picture. It's important that we remain really patient at the minute anyway, because of the element of transition that we're in. You know, we're at the start of something. We managed to stay up last year. Things have to change a little bit in terms of mindset and personnel, and then we will get much better, and in my opinion, very quickly. So it's a shame we didn't get the points out of the first 2 games that I think we deserved, but we have to just be positive and look forward.
Yeah, 2-1 to Aston Villa on the day. We're back with the second half in a few moments. Stay with us. The score, is this right? The score is Brentford 4, Manchester United 0. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Global events.
The priority now is collecting the evidence.
Breaking news.
Every life that they can save is a success.
Reactive analysis.
It's a very bizarre situation.
From the world's best journalists.
An unfortunate pattern is emerging.
And renowned experts from across the globe.
It still doesn't resolve the fundamental issues.
Keeping you informed as events unfold.
This is a flagrant violation of international law.
Times Radio is available to listen without a subscription. On DAB digital radio, online, via the Times Radio app, and on your smart speaker. Times Radio. Know your times.
Talksport Drive. Weekday afternoons from 4 on Talksport. A tower of sporting power in the afternoon.
Join me, Andy Goldstein, and Talksport Team Drive.
The latest sports news, hard-hitting opinion and exclusive interviews with the biggest names in the game.
Under the bonnet, over the top, into the back of the net.
Sports Mad Afternoon Radio, driven by you.
Revs up weekdays from 4, only on Talksport.
The fastest football on the way home.
Talksport Drive.
Previously on White and Jordan.
It costs the taxpayer zip, zero, zilch, nada, Nathan, nothing.
White Hot Sports News. Incomparable comment.
I mean, honestly, soft tissue injury, 50% up.
Okay.
And at the same stage last season, they don't lie.
Statistics are the beginning of a conversation, Jim, not the end of it.
Comments, conflict and confrontation.
International friendlies, ditched them. Gone. Carabao Cup, gone. FA Cup, gone.
Jim White.
4 words, never going to happen.
Simon Jordan.
Go away and come back when you've got something more grown up to say.
Continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talksport.
Yeah.
Times Radio, making sense of a changing world.
The biggest names in politics.
The Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, is here.
Well, a great honour to be here.
The arts.
My first guest is the acclaimed director Werner Herzog.
Entertainment.
I'm joined by Darren Brown.
World events, at home and abroad.
Shots have been fired in the Black Sea.
And the world's best resourced, intelligent opinion.
I came into politics to change lives.
In times of change, be well informed.
Times Radio is available to listen without a subscription on DAB digital radio, online, via the Times Radio app and on your smart speaker.
Times Radio.
Talksport Breakfast. Weekday mornings from 6. A new day, a new dawn.
God bless, bang, 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 9 dart finish.
Featuring a rotating team of top name talent, including Laura Woods.
Oh, it does make me a little bit...
Ali McCoist.
What a mouth-watering prospect.
And Alan Brazil.
You know, you are some blagger, you are.
Talksport Breakfast.
Look, we've woken up, finally.
We're off and running.
Weekday mornings from 6 on Talksport.
You are listening to Premier League Live and TalkSport's coverage of Brentford against Manchester United. Tom Rennie and the former Manchester United fullback Paul Parker with you. You are listening to Premier League Live. 4-0 at half-time to Brentford. Goals from De Silva, Jensen, Mee and Mbeumo. And Erik Ten Hag has seen enough. It's a triple change coming up for the new, but maybe wishes he wasn't, Manchester United manager. Raphael Varane is coming on for Lisandro Martinez at centre-half. Scott McTominay is coming on for Fred, and Tyrell Malacia, another new signing, is coming on for Luke Shaw. So, Paul Parker, a triple change. Is that going to save the day?
No. It might quell the storm, but it's not going to go out and suddenly turn it around. There's nothing out there that's going to score you more goals. It's just about maybe. I really don't know. I can understand a change in left back. He's got to play Varane at some point. He's got McTominay for Fred. Is that a like for like or whatever? I really don't know.
We did have a tweet in at half-time. We got a few of these, but I will reference it because I think it's pertinent. Harry Maguire has stayed on. Are you surprised by that? He had a terrible first half.
He did have a terrible first half. There were so many you could take off there, but I don't know. I mean, he made a rod for his own back by saying he's going to be my captain. So
here's the teams. I'll start with Brentford as we get underway. David Raya is in goal. We've got Ben Mee, Pontus Jansson and Mads Rodslev back 3. Rico Henry, Aaron Hickey, wing-backs left and right. Christian Norgard, Matthias Jensen in midfield with Josh De Silva in the number 10 role. Ivan Toney, Brian Mbeumo the front 2. On the bench, Johan Wissa, Samen Ghoddos, Frank Onyeka, Thomas Strakosha, Keane Lewis Potter, Mikkel Damsgaard, Shandon Baptiste, Vitaly Janelt and Mads Beck Sorensen. For Man United now, David De Gea is in goal, Diogo Dalot, Harry Maguire, Raphael Varane, Tyrell Malacia, that's the back 4. Midfield is Scott McTominay with Christian Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Cristiano Ronaldo, the front 3. They can make 5 subs, so 2 more available. The bench is Heaton, Wan-Bissaka, Van der Beek, Elanga, Garner, Garancho. Stuart Atwell's our referee. Brentford kick from right to left as we are looking in the second period. Red and white striped shirts, black shorts and black socks. United the other way, left to right, and it's not very well green kit. Shirts, shorts and socks with navy numbering and trim. They didn't change the grey one or the blue and white one at half time, as was my suggestion. Might be the only time you see this kit. And I wouldn't be surprised either, to be honest. They're really fading into the colour of the green grass from our vantage point. It's hard for me to see them.
I mean, it is. I mean, some people might not believe it, but that's a fact that they are actually morphing almost into the pitches. I must say, at the moment, in my opinion, it's the worst kit I've seen Manchester United have.
Yeah, worse than the grey one? Gotta be.
Yes.
The infamous grey one from 95, I think it was. It went TV static.
Absolutely correct.
Right, got to score early, Man United, to get back in this game. Trying to do it now with Jadon Sancho. Pass infield, intercepted well by Norgard. Brentford look to break away, and they've got a ball over the top here to Mbeumo, and he's got 2 runners in the area. If he'd have found a way through, Tony may well have been through there. It was blocked by Varane. Throw-in taken quickly. No one's on Rico Henry. Henry's cross comes in. That's away from Varane. And we start as we ended the first half, with Brentford looking very, very dangerous.
Well, they've done it really well, Brentford. They haven't come and sat back and going with 4-0 up. They're going for the jugular. They're going at United. They're pushing them because they won't expect United to get the ball, keep the ball, and trying to get a tempo going to try and get a goal. They've gone, no, Brentford, we're going to attack you still. We're going to be greedy. We're going to, maybe people might see, disrespectful. We're going to go for 5.
Jensen, long throw towards the near post, flicked away by McTominay, further away by Bruno Fernandes, but recovered here, facing his own goal by Rico Henry. David Raya in the centre circle now will knock one right to left towards me, one in the air well by Dalot, into touch for a throw, which I think again Brentford will take long, and you can understand why. Every time they do, they look pretty threatening.
Any ball in the air into that box is a problem for Manchester United, and it's not so much about the first one, it's the second ball.
Taken short this time by Brentford. United clear it, not for very long. So they have the ball, and Henry finds Jensen. Jensen tries to take McTominay on the outside, who gets his body in the way, wins the ball back. Jensen tries to steal it back himself. That's good play there by Scott McTominay, but then Jadon Sancho's pass back to McTominay is too heavy, and he's given away a corner from nothing.
I mean, he's given away a corner, Sancho. The problem was Scott McTominay thought he'd done his bit, and he stopped. Sancho's got to give the ball back to him after he go down the touchline. He's switched off. He suddenly thought, I've done my bit. That's why he's giving him that dirty look, to be perfectly honest. Why didn't you just stay? Why weren't you alive?
Could Brentford even have dreamed of this when Matthew Benham took over the club in 2012, that they'd be thrashing Manchester United at the Community Stadium? Beautiful new ground. Of course, moved here from Griffin Park back in 2020. Corner comes in right across the area, brought down by Tony. Hickey wants it, drives it towards the near post. David De Gea knocks it in the air. McTominay and Varane battling for it. Tony with a blast towards goal, but he blasts the ball over the crossbar, and that's a goal kick.
I mean, that is near post. Yes, you're supposed to save him, but it was a really good save at near post by David De Gea with his left leg, and it comes back out. Comes back out to Ivan Toney. He's just got to really hang that to the far post. He had 3 against 1 Brentford. A couple of players have let him know he's been greedy there, Ivan Toney. The moment's gone to him. They're 4-0 up. Would he have done that if it was 0-0 or 1-0 down? I don't think so.
Let me ask you this from one of our Twitter followers on @Talksport Live. 4-0 down, and they brought on 2 defenders and Scott McTominay. Paul, what does that tell you?
It tells you that they're content where they are. That is at the best same as you're just not happy with the individuals you've brought off. I'd like to bring on a more progressive player and go at Brentford. Not one player has gone at Brentford in this game so far.
Chance now for Dalot to do just that. Found by Eriksson, running towards the penalty area. 3 runners ahead of him. One is Ronaldo, who heads towards goal from the penalty spot. Tried to pick it up with the ball floating just behind him. If anyone can, he can, but that time he couldn't.
Yes, exactly right. Dalot, that weren't the greatest of ball. He's had to almost break his neck to actually go and get the ball from behind him. It was a poor cross. There's nothing really about it. If he scores it, it's a great header, and only Ronaldo could maybe do that, and he's disappointed himself, but he's made something good out of bad there.
We're 50 minutes gone. It's Brentford 4, Manchester United 0. Best chance of this second half there, falling the way of Cristiano Ronaldo from a United perspective. Could have been 5 a few moments earlier had David De Gea not been alert to that shot towards the near post. And just a reminder, by the way, of course, we have every game here on Premier League Live for our international partners. Next week for Manchester United, home against Liverpool next Monday. Just thought I'd mark your card.
Oh, it's just...
Are we together for that?
Well, I'm definitely here for that game, Tom.
I thought you'd be busy maybe that night, washing your hair potentially. Here's Jadon Sancho, lovely bit of skill away from 2. I'm not going to be, I know, a lot today. It's Ten Hag. Fernandes, deep ball in, right to left, trying to find Eriksen, trying to find Rashford, just keeps it in. First time back to Malacia, who's come on at half-time. Another one of the new signings brought in during the summer by Erik Ten Hag. £14.7 million from Feyenoord. Cross comes in here from the right towards Ronaldo, who leaps high, leaps well, heads over, goal kick.
And he shouldn't have headed over, by the way. Should have done better with that. He knows it. And again, it comes in from Dalot. It's just a ball into an area, and he's got there in front of Pontus Jansson. Not a lot Jansson can do about it. The cross was coming in towards goal, and Ronaldo didn't really get close enough to goal as he wanted.
Kwesi Sway on Twitter says United are going to win 5-4. If they did, it might be the greatest comeback in Premier League history. Not a great deal of signs of that so far, as Brentford win a free kick just over the halfway line, right hand side. Strong challenge there by Malacia. I'm not sure that Erik Ten Hag has any more kind of dice to roll, as it were, here. High ball down the right channel towards Mbuma. Beautifully controlled against Malacia. It's back to Josh Da Silva. Forward to Norgard. Back from Hickey now. Roslev right. Hickey into midfield. Nice little turn over on that far side, but overrun by Jensen. And there's a chance here to break for United, but Fernandes and Rashford can't combine. That's come off a Brentford leg last for a Manchester United throw. 54 minutes gone, 4-0.
Marcus Rashford is just so sloppy in possession. Just gives the ball away cheap. He just makes the wrong decisions with the ball. Doesn't want to run and take anybody on when it really matters now. He's just too scared to.
There's Christian Eriksen, right of the centre circle. Into Rafael Varane. Trophy-laden career at Real Madrid before his move here. Down the line to Marcus Rashford by the corner flag. Good block by Roslev on Rashford. Fernandes picks it up left-hand side. Ball in field to Maguire, lip of the centre circle. On towards Eriksen, looks to pick it up on the half-turn and help it on to Dalot. Into Sancho, then to Dalot, then to Ronaldo. Pass to Fernandes, who is loose, but it breaks to Malacia, who drives a goal. It's blocked by Roslev and cleared away. Up to Tony, who beats Maguire in the air. McTominay then loses out to Mbuma, but his header back towards Maguire was poor. Fernandes helps those two out, but then nearly gives it straight to Mbuma. It does find Eriksen, whose neat footwork keeps Manchester United in possession. And they're over the halfway line, left-hand side, now with Malacia and Rashford.
And this is the best bit of possession United have had during the game. They haven't gone anywhere, but they've got more than 5 passes in, which is very good at this moment in time.
McTominay to Sancho. Sancho to Dalot is an option in this second half. Dalot's cross, digs one out. It's over the crossbar from Diogo Dalot. I think that has gone for a goal kick. Yes, it has. It's spun back on, but that is a goal kick. And 10 minutes have elapsed in the second half, and they're not back in the game yet.
They're not back in the game. They're better than what they were in the first half, which is just above not being awful. Brentford have slowly just taken their foot off the gas a little bit. But that's only natural, that is, when you're 4-0 up.
I mean, yeah, and for Brentford now, I mean, how on earth do you handle this? We've got so much game left, and they wouldn't have expected such an easy ride of it. So what would you advise they do?
Well, the easiest thing to do is just to go and sit back on it. The hardest thing to do is keep pressing forward, and that's what they're trying to do. They're doing the most difficult bit as a side in this position, is still press forward. If this was a Jose Mourinho managing, it'd be the most boring second half you'd ever know in your life.
Thomas Frank certainly not of that school of thought, the Brentford manager. He's preparing a change, though. We are having Josh Da Silva is about to be withdrawn, the score of that opening goal. The score of that wonder goal last week against Leicester City 2. Just trying to look after him, I think, a bit. Thomas Frank, very much invested emotionally in his return from injury. Fulham next week for them as well, in Colchester in the Carabao Cup. So, you know, the games they want to win. They were semi-finalists in the Carabao Cup last season, the League Cup. So they might well just be thinking about games to come with Josh Da Silva, who was so good, certainly in that opening 20 minutes, where Manchester United just couldn't get anywhere near the bees at Brentford. Just a bus stop in West London. Up to Mbuma. Crossfield from Da Silva. Hickey's got space here on the halfway line. They're coming again here. Overlapping run being made by Roslev. Still going Hickey onto Roslev. Right-footed cross blocked by the retreating Malacia. And Brentford have yet another corner, this time on the attacking right-hand side.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hickey's coming and he's done great. But I've seen Roslev play quite a few times as a full-back, and he always seemed to lack confidence, always seemed under pressure. As a wing-back, as a right-sided centre-half, I'm seeing him as a better player, more comfortable, and he's just done an overlap as a right-sided centre-half in the 3. That tells me that he's getting more and more confident.
4-0 up will certainly do that to you, I'd imagine.
There you are then, straight away. I'm trying to give saying good and you've gone bang.
No, you spotted it, and I'm thinking of a reason for it. What a great team we are. As a Brentford, maybe not United. Corner on the right-hand side for Brentford, searching for a 5th goal here. Towards Tony, who's free. Eriksson had just read it late. I'm not sure if he was meant to be marking Ivan Toney, but he runs back and gets there before Toney can head towards goal.
I think he suddenly saw something and thought, cool, I was a player, and he got blocked off by Ben Mee. And he's got himself around it, and I'll tell you what, he's done great because they've really worked it. They isolated everyone. They brought everyone in towards the near post there and left the back post wide open for the 6'3" Ivan Toney to come in with his head.
Another corner for Brentford, this time on the near side. It's their 6th of the match, their 2nd in quick succession. It's left-hand side. Once again, those two over it, Jensen and Mbeumo. It is Matthias Jensen towards the near post, away by Rashford. Malacia with a volley upfield. Sancho chasing it down here, but Mbeumo is just as fast, and Mbeumo has done brilliantly well to get there, because if he didn't, and he wasn't alert to that, Sancho was in.
Certainly wasn't. I do like him, by the way, Mbeumo, just by the fact of, yes, he's going to go forward, he can score goals, he can make goals, but he's just like a journeyman of a player who's gone through the hard side of football, and he's had to learn to go forward and backwards and play as a team player. And just by the way that he went forward, and he's the first man back to cover up, which is just great. Great team ethic. Again, when you're 4-0 up, you're willing to throw everything at him,
Yeah, well, why not? I mean, this is already an historic day for Brentford, but why not keep going? This doesn't come around very often. Shouts of handball there from a flick on, not given. Chance here for Mbeumo to make it 5. Brilliant reading of that by Malacia. The ball was bouncing into Mbeumo's path. Malacia got there. Offside flag has gone up, so it would not have been a chance from Mbeumo. It's not going to be a corner. But the shouts of handball came against McTominay, which was not given. And speaking of this just not happening, just for historical context, Brentford have earned only 1 point from 6 top flight meetings ever with Manchester United since they were able to beat them back in the 36-37 season. 1 point since 1937 basically against them. It's incredible. They're 4-0 up. Change here, another one for Man United. Jadon Sancho withdrawn. Anthony Elanga, a favourite of Ralph Rangnick. Are we still allowed to mention him? He comes on to replace him. Surprised that Sancho is off and Rashford has remained on.
Well, I was about to say something similar, by the way. He's got away with murder there, Marcus Rashford. Absolute murder.
Bus stop in Hounslow is the chant from the Brentford fans, who are very much enjoying it today. I'm just telling you what they're saying, because they're really playing an active role in this incredible spectacle here by the fans inside this stadium. Here's Rashford over on that left-hand side, ball in towards Ronaldo. Ronaldo will find Malacia. He's in field. We're at 60 minutes gone. It's 4-0 to Brentford. If you're just joining us, all goals coming in the first half. All goals coming in the first 35 minutes of the first half. Here's Maguire. Not playing with a great desperation right now, Manchester United. Maguire back towards Varane in the centre circle. It's onwards towards Eriksson. Into Scott McTominay, turns forward. Tries to get them moving forward. Carries forward. Is there a pass? Yes, there is. Dalot right to Elanga, but it's behind him. And Elanga's offside as well. Just built them way into the offensive third there, Paul, and a simple error.
Well, Elanga got that completely wrong. The ball to him was awful, by the way. It was an awful pass.
A change here. Josh Da Silva is being withdrawn to be replaced by Vitaly Janelt, man who scored the opening goal of this game. Paul, your thoughts on Josh Da Silva's performance today?
I liked what I saw in the first half. Second half's been different, but again, I think the way the game is set up now, it made it difficult for him to show the same. But what he's come back from, and it is about just keeping him right, not pushing it too hard. No need to push it now. He's given his burst. He scored a goal. He's the one who started it, and he showed enough there. He is a talented lad, by the way.
And he may well have played a significant contributory factor to Brentford's first league win over Manchester United in 85 years. I mean, anyway.
There's been a lot of things happen which didn't happen under Sir Alex and prior to that.
Yeah.
And many things have happened on the negative side since he's gone.
And they certainly haven't done a great deal to try and get back in this game. I haven't really sensed a desperation here for United to stop the embarrassment, at least. Stop them leading. 62 minutes gone, it's 4-0. A couple of half-hearted Ronaldo headers aside, there's not been a great amount to talk about. I mean, does this make it more difficult for them to attract players like this in the next couple of weeks? Why would I want to go there?
I think it does, and what it does, the player will play a little bit of hardball and just be greedy and see what happens next. You end up having to overpay a lot more than what you do for what it is, really, because they're just virtually saying, well, no, I don't need that. I don't need that pressure.
Bruno Fernandes carrying the ball forward here from the left-hand side, tries a forward pass. It rather splits two United players who were ahead of him and just rolls harmlessly into touch. What's Erik ten Hag going to say after this? I mean, what can he say?
I think he just has to be honest, be a little bit of a wrangler, really, and just say the truth. Talk about it as a team, talk about his problems.
I'm off to Austria.
I'm off to just come out. It's got to do. If he tries to wear rose-tinted glasses, it's going to do him no favours.
Yeah.
He's got to talk the truth. Everyone, in a certain way now, you don't have to be a Manchester United fan. You can be a hater, but you know the problems they've got. You know the story behind everything. And he needs as much help now to try and get things right and put them in a position where they can compete. And I say that compete. I'm not on about winning things and qualifying for that. I'm saying just to compete, because Manchester United in 2 Premier League games haven't competed. That doesn't happen. They normally have one disaster and bang, they come back.
Here's Ronaldo trying to get them back in this game. Into the feet of Bruno Fernandes, back to Varane. Every outfield player is in the Brentford half right now, but United are struggling to get into that offensive third. They're being held up by this incredibly organised wall of red and white shirts. There's a line of 5, a line of 4, and then Tony or Mbeumo, depending on where the ball is, being the highest pressing player. And they're just finding no space, Paul, are they? What do you do here to try and break this down?
Well, I'll tell you what you do. You try and run around. Now look at Marcus Rashford. That one good season he had, his strength was running in behind, threatening behind. If he didn't threaten behind, then he'll create space to go short and run at people. He's doing none of the above. He's just standing, walking around, saying, give it to my feet. That's not his strength his strength getting the ball to his feet with someone behind him. He's not good like that. He needs to go at people with the ball or running behind. So he's pinning down the goalkeeper 1 against 1, as we saw in his first full season. That was his strength. That's why he scored so many goals. He's not doing it anymore. I think he believes that he's done it. He's done enough now. It's going to happen for me. Football doesn't happen like that. You have to make it happen like you do in life.
That attack came to nothing. Eriksson chipped one forward. It went into touch, but United have won it back again, and they attack again, and Brentford regroup again. They have got a little bit Mourinho in the last few minutes, but why not? 4-0 up. 65 minutes gone. Here's McTominay. Left to Rashford, into Fernandes, flick to Ronaldo, challenged by me. Ronaldo goes down, Brentford clear it, and Mbeumo tries to turn McTominay, can't do so. He's getting stuck in, McTominay. You've got to give him that. Down the line to Bruno Fernandes. Good block by the very impressive man from Bologna, Aaron Hickey. And it's a corner to Man United over on the far side.
I look at him and you think what he's cost, and you say to yourself, what are they going looking at? And the way he's played, where he's played, he's got a fight about him from where he's come from. Went a little bit in the high life of going out to Bologna, learnt a little bit from there.
Eriksson's corner, deep delivery. Bruno Fernandes can't beat Ben Mee to the ball. Not many could. Mee goes down. And that's a late challenge on the new signing and goal scorer for Brentford. Sorry, Paul.
No, I was going to say, why can't United go and do their shopping like that? The problems they've had before is all the shopping they've done, the players they wanted, straight away, when we get them, how many shirts can they sell? Go and make players into those kind of players. Don't have to go and buy them, because that's the problem. If you go out and they've already can sell that many shirts, that means they might have done their time.
What did you make of the backlash about Marko Arnautovic in the last week, considering that I get it about him as a, 33-year-old, all that, but if he's the person the manager thinks might have done a job here, we'll come back to that, as they might have a chance here with Rashford. Lovely turn of pace in the area. Janssen held him up. Crossed by Rashford. Chance! Great save. It was Eriksen's header. And Eriksen back on his own stomping ground. Couldn't get the power behind it. Raya makes a simple save.
It wasn't. We've just seen Marcus Rashford make a run in behind, doing something that's good. I'll tell you what, he was quite fortunate there really for Brentford that Pontus Jansson, he didn't go into him. But I'll tell you what, he's done great. He's done really, really well there, Eriksen, to get there, but he should have headed that back where it come from. It was an easy one in the end.
Sorry, let me take you back to that Arnautovic question. Just what was your thoughts on, as we get to the drinks break here, another drinks break in the second half, 32 Celsius here, so understandable. There wasn't very much he's not good enough for Manchester United Football Club about it, Bit of a cliche that, I know, but it does happen, and some of our listeners will feel it. Should they have gone, well, if he's the player the manager wants, we get him and we accept where we are?
Maybe the manager wanted him, but I think the biggest problem was, and United's biggest problem, is that they look at social media. And I think that a lot of the fans, because someone put in there that he got did he get a ban or something for a racist comment?
Yes, I mean he's a controversial character.
Yeah.
I don't defend Marko Arnautovic as a person here, but as a player, if Erik ten Hag has identified him as that's who we can afford, that's who we can get, that's who we can convince to come, that's the money we've got, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
You've got to go with it, haven't you?
I think in certain ways, at the end of the day, if we want to talk about getting people to do things, because we haven't all lived as angels, have we? So what do they expect? There's always something now. Is that the way we're going to go now? Well, he's done this, he's done that, so he can't come here. If he was going to make a difference, they went and got Ronaldo on a short-term one, hoping he'd make a difference. And Arnautovic makes a difference. The way he plays. He plays with his heart, and he is frustrating in the way he plays. Would he have made a difference today? I'll tell you what, I think he'd be scaring the life out of his teammates today. That's the one thing about him.
Thomas Frank here has just brought a full whiteboard tactics board out onto the field with a bunch of magnetic counters on it. What's he doing? What's that about?
He's mostly not a technophobic, and he can't use an iPad, and he's saying my players can't all see that. I'm going to bring out a great big whiteboard and I'm just going to put it there. There's the picture, look at it. All of you, rather than just two or three looking around a silly 11-inch screen.
Is he changing formation?
I just think he's just maybe putting out a few little bits, but the people behind the bench know what he's going to do next.
Right, okay, that's good.
So long as the fans know as well, that's
the important thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well give the game away now, mightn't you?
Yeah.
We are back underway. It's a goal kick to Brentford. We're at 69 minutes and it's 4-0. Ransford on Twitter, listening in Ghana, says the Manchester United managerial job is a poisoned chalice. I'm not sure why Ten Hag would want it. I'm certainly not sure why he has got it. Are we going to have a relegation on our hands, Paul Parker?
No, that won't happen again like in the 70s. I think it was, when was it? Was it 72?
Dennis Law, 72, I think.
72, 73 season, I think it was, and they got promoted 73, 74. So no.
No chance. No chance.
No chance of that happening.
I mean, a top 10 finish, which they would, I suppose, see as a disaster, like mid-table.
Well, that was their worst ever Premier League season last season.
Yeah.
But if we talk about life before Premier League, I think there was quite a few well before that.
We're at 70 minutes. It's 4-0. You're listening to Premier League Live. Ransford, thanks for the question. In short, we don't think there's any scenario they would get relegated, but we have thought that before, I suppose. Here's Malacia in the centre circle for the boys in green. Back towards Christian Eriksen. And it's a pass right to Harry Maguire. Maguire to Dalot, who has been pinging some balls forward towards Ronaldo, at least in the second half. Tries another one here, but Ben Mee, he's loving it out there right now, will intercept it. They try and counter here to Brentford, but poor crossfield ball from Tony, sees it intercepted by Malacia. And Manchester United have it again, as they have had, by the way, for the majority of this game. Possession is 70-30 in their favour, but 12 shots on goal, 3 on target. Nothing particularly threatening of the goalkeeper so far. Maybe now. One goal changes everything. That's why football is such a beautiful game. McTominay trying to make that happen. Into Maguire. Again, just struggling to get into that offensive third here, Manchester United.
It's a story over the last few seasons.
Crossed by Malacia. Chance here for Elanga. That's good defending by Rico Henry, just easing him off the run there. Elanga recovered by Dalot by the corner flag. Diallo has to run back away from goal. Finds a big pass back to Varane on the halfway line. Well, if they are going to get back in this game, and if he's doing a lot of heavy lifting there, it has to be right now for Manchester United, surely.
They've got to work the goalkeeper. They have not worked the goalkeeper. He hasn't done anything, Raya, in that goal.
Just a simple catch from Eriksson recently is the only thing in this half, and that was a relatively easy save, as you say. Not a test for a goalkeeper of the quality of David Raya. Dalot and Fernandes down the right, into McTominay, on to Ronaldo. Ronaldo's playing.
But look where he's playing now. Look, he's gone out and joined everyone on the edge of the box.
Malacia tries to get away from his man here, and he's done really well. Rashford, then Eriksson, low ball, Ronaldo, Elanga can't turn it towards goal, smuggled away by Jensen in his own penalty area. As far as David De Gea, all in blue. Haven't really seen much of him in the second half, to be fair. No, they are 4-0 up, Brentford. McTominay driving centre to left. Into Rashford, onto Ronaldo, shot by Ronaldo, got underneath it, Ronaldo hits the deck in desperation, trying to get a free kick from nothing, doesn't get one, that's a goal kick. Another change coming up here. I hate the 5 subs, I really do it.
I know.
The game loses all pattern, but it's another sub for Brentford. They've got another window to make one after this. Johan Wisso is going to come on for Brian and Bumo. Another brilliant performance from him, and he scored the 4th goal in this game. I thought there might be another change coming up here as well. Yes, there is. Another player who's just getting up here. Looks like Shandon Baptiste is going to come on for Matthias Jensen, another scorer. So Jensen withdrawn, Baptiste is on. A slightly wider point, Paul, but what's your view on the 5 subs? I mean, I personally can't stand it.
No, it favours the bigger clubs, without a shadow of a doubt, because they can afford the bigger squads. And again, it's just one of those silly rules that get a few so-called big-name managers who moan about things, and the Premier League give in, because it's totally unnecessary. Because of the size of squads now, the monies, it kind of gets everyone, more people involved.
If you're going to make them play 70 games a year, I suppose it makes sense to do more subs, but the pattern of the game totally changes. I mean, when the game is over, like this one feels like it completely is. And you were at the City game last week as well for West Ham, and that was over for a long time. The subs and all that sort of stuff, the last 10 minutes, you might as well shoot off.
Yeah, exactly right. I wish I could have done last week though, but I had earphones attached to me. I don't think they would have liked it.
Yeah, you can't do it this week either, I'm afraid, as Rashford tries to form a chance for himself here, edge of the penalty area. Lovely footwork, finds Ronaldo, players around him, Brentford regroup, Ronaldo back to Rashford. It's kind of over now, cross comes in, it's away by Roslev, recovered by Malacia over on the far side. Brentford have regrouped. United still have it. Fernandes, Malacia on the left hand side, up against Hickey. Can he get the cross in? Knocks it back to Bruno Fernandes instead. Deep delivery towards the back post. Chance for Dalot. It's brilliant defending by Rico Henry. Watched the ball spinning into his path. Kept his eye on the man running in and clears it for a corner. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's easy to be caught out by them, and it's a little bit of bravery as well, because you're attacking the ball and you know someone's going to come in and want to hit you, and all of a sudden it's that split second you take the eye off the ball and bang, all of a sudden United go and score. But it's good for United, even though it's a little bit too late now.
Eriksson's corner cleared away at the near post by Norgard. Wissa wants this ball before Elanga. Elanga's done really well, but Wissa ain't giving it up. And he's trying to get Elanga short. Now he can't get the ball, and it's a free kick to Manchester United. 75 minutes gone. The score is Brentford 4, Manchester United 0. Corners with Christian Eriksen, takes the free kick short to McTominay and gets it back again. It just hasn't looked likely for Manchester United. It hasn't looked on. Brentford have not really allowed them the sniff of a half chance in this second half. Malacia long, Fernandes underneath it, just jumps into David Raya, and Raya's too good for that, makes the catch. And no issue here. Referee's blown his whistle. Hickey made a cover run towards the centre and has gone down off the ball. Hopefully nothing too serious here for Aaron Hickey, who's been superb today.
Yeah, it's always a worry when a player goes down and he's on his own with no contact at all. They generally end up as the worst kind of injuries rather than the contact ones.
It does give me a moment just to let you know about tomorrow and Monday here on Premier League Live. 2 games for you tomorrow. Nottingham Forest, their first home game in the Premier League for 23 years, up against David Moyes' West Ham United, beaten by Manchester City last week. That's followed by Chelsea against Tottenham, an early indicator in the battle for Champions League places. And on Monday Night Football, it's Liverpool up against Crystal Palace. Make sure you're with us for all of those games. Hickey's up again, moving a bit gingerly. I think they might be preparing another substitution here, Brentford. You get 3 windows to make changes in the game, plus half-time. They've utilised 2 windows, 1 more available to them where they can make up to 2 more changes. Wissa thinks he's won a throw-in over on the far side here. Officials disagree. He certainly brought a bit of combative nature back into this game, Johan Wissa. It was just petering out a little bit.
The one thing about Wissa, when he comes on, he generally scores.
Yeah, Liverpool, West Ham last season.
Yeah, West Ham, I remember. Yeah.
92nd or something like that against West Ham at London Stadium. Cost them Champions League, Europa League, forgive me, place in the end. I mean, it all does in the end, but you know, that was the kind of game. He's won a free kick for his team here on the right-hand side, just outside the offensive third, over on the right side line. How they'd love a 5th here, Brentford. I mean, they would love that. Second half has...
This is about the area where it was at London Stadium, by the way, with the free kick coming.
You're in Liverpool.
Sorry.
I still wake up in the night sometimes thinking about it, as United fans will about today.
Many a nights this is going to carry on.
And that's just the kit. Roslev dummies to take it short. Not particularly convincingly. Not sure what that was for. Now they do dink one in towards the... I was going to say back post, but it's spun outside the penalty area, and they've had to foul Rashford there, who picked it up easily. Baptiste with a poor challenge, or maybe a smart one, considering just how poor that was. Yeah, that was a bit weird. All that was weird. More changes coming up. Mads Bech Sorensen is going to come on for Hickey, but also we're hearing that Frank the Tank Onyeka is going to come on in central midfield as well, so they are going to make their 5 changes. And that'll be for the hard-working Christian Norgard, supporters and players, Player of the Year last season. And, you can see why, really. You can see why fans would love having him in midfield. I wonder if Man United would love to have him in midfield. Not that I'm trying to sell him, you understand, Brentford fans, don't at me. McTominay's passed the ball into touch. And didn't the fans just love that? And now there's a chance here for Wissa, held up well by Varane. All Varane, though, can do is knock it into touch, and it's a throw-in. And that is a time for more changes. This game, there's just no pattern now. You know, I don't want to sound like John Anderson here, but I do hate all this 5 subs, modern football. Get rid of the subs. Get rid of the grass, bring back the mud.
Because the game the other day is involving Bournemouth against Southend.
Yeah.
Playing time. How long was the playing time over 90? What was the time of the ball in play over 90 minutes?
Oh, hit me.
47 minutes.
Oh dear.
47 minutes.
Premier League average last year was 55.
It's terrible, that. It's absolutely meant to be entertainment. You pay for 90 minutes and you're giving that. And that's down to the people above allowing all the little bits to go on. All the players faking stuff, the rolling around.
Well, they brought us more subs now.
Yeah.
So. Changes here, by the way, they have been made. Mads Bech Sorensen, Frank Onyeka on, off go Hickey, and Norgard in midfield. We mentioned him there briefly, but Christian Norgard in midfield, I mean, he's a powering player, isn't he?
He is. He's a player that when he's playing the Championship, he's too good to be there. He's at the level where he should be.
And Sorensen's got a long throw, and he's not one in the area. Cleared away, not very far! Oh, great volley of goal! From the edge of the area, Rico Henry with it, left-footed, it was on target, had to be saved by David De Gea. That was nearly cherry on top of icing, on top of multiple cakes.
I tell you what, they cleared the box quite quick, Manchester United. I don't think if they hadn't cleared that box that quick, he would have seen that too late, David De Gea. But he saw that all the way, he was able to move his feet across and take it quite easily, but it was a fantastic strike from Rico Henry.
He's got it in him. Scored some good goals last season. The one at Newcastle springs to mind at St James's. Certainly a threatening wing back. 80 minutes now played, folks. It's Brentford 4, Manchester United 0, as it's been since the 35th minute. There has been no great comeback from the Red Devils. Malacia left to Rashford. Low ball. Eriksson! Oh, he's missed it. Eriksson on the volley, left-footed, hooked it towards goal. I just thought that was going to nestle in and the comeback might have begun, but it's gone wide.
Yeah, it's more good fortune for United that that come off, because the ball comes off, I think it's Beck, and he just sits up nicely for Eriksson, and he doesn't get his knee over the ball in the end. He's spinning, he hooks it in the end, doesn't get a good strike on it.
It's 81 minutes on the clock, and It's a chance for Christian Eriksen that goes begging. I mean, would it have started a comeback? I don't know, but it might have given a bit of pride to Man United today a little bit.
Tom,
yeah.
The 4-0 down, you're saying, does it start a comeback in the 81st minute?
Yeah, I'm a long-suffering supporter of my team. I wouldn't feel safe even now. I'm sure Brentford fans don't, to be honest. Oh, McTominay's given it away, and Baptista's robbed it, and there's a chance here for Wissa. Couldn't get it through to Ivan Toney, but the referee has brought it back for that foul from Scott McTominay on Frank Onyeka, who won it back well. He gets the yellow card here. Maguire is saying they'd already got through and then had their chance. I kind of agree with Maguire there, but it doesn't matter. Referee's given it McTominay's books.
No surprise really on that one. He's always going to put himself in that position, Scott. His touch is always going to let him down, as he did the other day. Got away one against Brighton where maybe he should have been sent off.
We are hearing that Donny van der Beek is about to come on for Manchester United. Another change for them. You may well ask why. Yeah. You may well ask who.
Yeah, but I'm going to say why now. Why didn't he come in? Because he's a more forward-thinking player than Scott McTominay. And this man actually...
Can you answer the question? I couldn't do it for you.
He actually played for Ten Hag before.
Yeah.
So surely doesn't he give a little bit of favouritism?
Well, let me throw it back to you. Why hasn't he given him some favouritism? Why has he come on now, or coming on now, and McTominay did come on?
I don't know.
Speculate for me, Paul. We've got an injury here. We've got time to fill.
I mean, he must think he hasn't moved on from when he left to come to Manchester United. He doesn't fancy him as a player anymore. There's got to be something coming on, because he's brought on Elanga before him as well.
Yeah.
He's brought on two defenders before him.
Is he that bad?
He has. Listen, I felt sorry for him from when he arrived. He arrived during the lockdown period. No family or friends close to him. He wasn't getting games of football, so it's making him feel more and more lonely, and it made it difficult for him to get over. Has he got over that yet? I really don't know, but he needs a run of games. He really needs a run of games in the right team.
Went to Everton, of course, on loan. That didn't work out either. I mean, is there? I mean, I don't know. I don't know is the answer. Frank Onyeka's up, getting some treatment, and looks like he's going to be okay. Of course, they've made all their changes now, Brentford, all 5, so they can't make another one. But they could probably see this out with 10 men. Fans might not think that. I probably would go with it now. A free kick is right of centre. It's about 40 yards from goal. Vitaly Janelt is over it. And he's clipped one forward towards Ivan Toney. Tony's volley towards the penalty area, trying to find Wissa. Blocked by Malacia. Corner Brentford.
That was so obvious that they were going to do that. Again, they pushed everyone to the back area of the box, or just in front of the 18-yard box. And it's virtually a 2 against 1 defending. There was always going to go behind on the weak side. And he just hooked it over the top. Ivan Toney, you just got to look around where he is. They're always generally looking for him when they have the ball, Brentford.
Corner, right-hand side for the Bees. Their 7th of the game. Towards the 6-yard box, away by Ronaldo. Volley a goal by Rico Henry again. Blocked by Maguire. Ronaldo now back defending. Beaten to it. Right-hand side. Vitaly Janelt! Blocked by Maguire. They were queuing up. They were begging for it. 4 Brentford players. Pass me the ball. Pass me the ball. Janelt took the shot. It goes for a corner. He apologised to all of them. Why not? 4-0.
Yeah, well, Janelt, I mean, he's done great there. Given where they are at the moment, 4-0 up, he's allowed to get away with that.
Corner taken shot. Shot by Wissa. Saved by David De Gea. That was going in. Picked up by Janelt. Right to Toney. Deep cross towards the near post. It's held by David De Gea. Looked like it was going deep. I think he may have taken a knock on the way through, or maybe it was just a weird trajectory, but either way, it hasn't ended up in a chance. At the other end, here comes Elanga running at the area. Elanga still going. Bruno Fernandes wants it. Blocked. Ronaldo with the shot. Save with ease by David Raya.
Oh, Bruno Fernandes is just... sometimes you just don't want him in your team. Just his attitude sometimes. What he's done to Elanga there. Virtually saying he just took him out. He just kicked him, tried to take the ball off his toe, and he's gave him a look of contempt on the floor.
Yeah.
The young boy was trying to make something happen out of nothing. It's shocking.
Flick on here by Shandon Baptiste, trying to find Yohan Wissa. Recovered by Fernandes and Eriksen. Outright to Diogo Dalot. 86 minutes gone. It's Brentford 4, Manchester United 0. All goals coming in the opening 35 minutes for those just joining us. Fernandes, all those that have been with us the entire time who can't believe it. Fernandes chips one to Elanga in the area, held up by Janssen, held up by Henry, held up by Onyeka. Back to Fernandes, crosses blocked, shouts of handball not given, away by Pontus Janssen, recovered by Maguire. Dalot back heel, suddenly it's all urgent for Manchester United. Only took 87 minutes. Here is Dalot, edge of the area, reverse pass, cleared away by Ben Mee, Burnley style, crash bang wallop upfield.
Comes in handy now. That education of being at Burnley will make a big difference now.
And now they're bringing on Donny van der Beek in the 87th minute at 4-0 down.
He doesn't need that. He doesn't want it. He's fuming inside.
And they're going to take off.
No, Eriksson.
Christian Eriksen. I mean, even that is an odd thing to do, isn't it?
That is an odd thing to do. Really, really odd thing to do.
Eriksen, who chose Manchester United over Brentford during the summer. And don't they just want to remind him of it? Donny van der Beek is on for a couple of minutes. Yeah, you've got to feel sorry for him. You have to, really. Despite the money and all that, you've got to feel sorry for him. Here he is on the halfway line. Buying players they don't even want for big money. Bizarre times at Manchester United. Here's Elanga, right-hand side, down the line to Diogo Dalot. Maguire, Dalot again. He's looked alert, at least, Dalot, in the second half. He's tried to make things happen. Maybe not good enough, but at least he's given it a good go. This one intercepted by Rico Henry as running to touch with it. Throw into Manchester United. Fernandes has left it to Dalot and has walked off screaming at someone or other.
Yeah.
For show. Go over and get the ball. Where's he walking off to?
Yeah, I know. He hasn't even gone back and even checked to try and get it from him.
Just luzzed it into Varane, who'd gone forward for a flick on there. Didn't win it. And Dalot has now played an awful pass into midfield. And Brentford could break. And Brentford want 5. And they're trying to stop the counter-attack here, Rashford. And Rashford has fouled the man driving forward, Shandon Baptiste. And he'll get a yellow card here for his efforts too. And I wonder if Brentford's stronger players were still on the field, whether that might well be a 5th.
Yeah, I mean, he just played that. He should have really, in theory, kept going and shown a bit of purpose there, but like you're saying, it's 4-0 up, you try and keep it. It's just that fact of thinking you could go and get 5 against Manchester United. There was such an opportunity, but Dalot, something so easy, made it so difficult.
Janel to Wissa. Wissa on the right-hand side. Down the line to Baptiste. Back to Wissa again. Lovely little step over by Johan Wissa. He's beaten Rashford and he's tried to cross here. It's been blocked by Malacia. In fact, no, the cross was just diabolical. It's gone out for a goal kick. Well, it doesn't matter, I suppose. 89 minutes. Have a bit of fun. And what a fun day it has been for Brentford. I mean, look, second time season up in the Premier League, perennial underachievers in the Championship, moved to this wonderful new stadium. The Matthew Benham era is interesting in its money ball elements. To do all of what they've done in the last decade, a win like this is richly deserved for this club.
It is, and the way they've gone about it, because it was laughed at first. I wasn't really understanding. Football said, no, this ain't going to work. They got rid of their under 23s, didn't they?
Yeah,
and I mean, even I went, you can't be doing that. But I tell you what, they just kind of virtually said the football's not worth it. It's not competitive. What's the point? And they just go out and they arrange games. And that's what they do. They play against sides behind closed doors for those kind of games, and they're competitive rather than going through the motion league as the under 23 league is.
Yeah, that's the decision they have made, and at the moment the things they are doing are paying off. We've got 4 additional minutes for the Brentford fans to enjoy. I wonder if there's still 1 or 2 here who think we haven't won this yet. I'll tell you, I would. I'm telling you. I still wouldn't be sure. 93-30 is when I might think we're going to win this. Football fans. Guarantee you that'll be the case for a few. But afterwards, it's going to be one heck of a party here today after this game, as it often is after Brentford win. And McTominay has passed the ball into touch again.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that was. It's just. I don't even want to try and explain that because people think I've gone mad. That was terrible.
I think they might think you'd gone mad if they all knew you had your underpants on your head and pencils up your nose. I'm revealing that now to people. I don't know. It's an audio medium. chance here for Brentford at the other end. Poor pass there from Onyeka trying to find Baptiste and vice versa. And they've recovered it though, Brentford. Onyeka back to Ben Mee on the halfway line. To Rico Henry. Back to Ben Mee. Why not a few Olays? Upfield from Raya. Into midfield. Raphael Varane. Into Van der Beek, who's missed his control there. Janelt has picked it up. Short to Baptiste, who's been really involved since coming on, you've got to say. Like I've said his name a lot. And here he is now, the lovely little shuffle and run away from Dalot, who's fouled him. He's certainly looked good, isn't he, I think?
He's decent.
He's enjoyed it, I think, since coming on.
They've certainly grown we've talked about them growing as a club, they're growing as a team, because their bench is that little stronger than what they had last season, and that's progression.
Didn't even get the chance to see the new signing today. And Mikkel Damsgaard has come in for big money to replace Eriksson. He's not even getting on. Don't need him. It's not all about new signings. Sometimes it's about the coaching.
There used to be a day, by the way, that new signings were always going to start. Once they get there for the first game, they're always going to start. It'll be demanded by the fans. Now they always say, they're not fit enough to play. I think so. What have they been doing all during the summer?
Yeah. Forward here to Wissa. Maguire gets there, back to David De Gea, whose pass to Dalot was straight at him, but Dalot nearly got it all wrong. That's of course how the first couple of goals came. All goals in the first half. It's 4-0. De Silva with the opening goal, a shot that just trickled through the fingers of David De Gea. Jensen with the second after some really poor play from Maguire, Martinez and David De Gea in the penalty area. Ben Mee scored a close range header from a corner, which was knocked back into his path by Ivan Toney, and then Brian Mbeumo on the counter attack set up by Toney scored the next one. Bruno Fernandes getting yellow carded here for a bunch of really pathetic swiping challenges. Some utter petulance from the Man United number 8. What do we expect?
Nothing different, to be perfectly honest. That's the way it is. That's what it's become. I don't think it's going to change. I still couldn't believe they gave him a new contract, because that has been the one that's broke the camel's back with him.
Well, every Brentford fan around the stadium up on their feet. It's a real party in West London at this new stadium. The club trying to avoid second season syndrome. They might be redefining what that is after the first couple of weeks. Brilliant recovery against Leicester last week and a walloping of Man United this week. What next? We'll find out here on Premier League Live, no doubt about that. Here's Ronaldo and McTominay trying to get their way forward. There's no way through. And now Scott McTominay has just booted down De Silva. He should be getting a second yellow for that. Out of pure sympathy, I think he's not going to get one. And the fact the referee is going to blow the full-time whistle. And it's an historic victory for Brentford. Their first victory against Manchester United in the league since a win at Old Trafford in Division 1, February 1937. And a heavy, smacking loss for Manchester United. I said before the game, maybe they could treat last week as a bit of a mulligan if they were able to win the game today. It's been a massacre. 4-0. And that pressure, high pressure, has seen them win the ball, and it's a great goal! Oh, David De Gea has spilled the ball, and it's 1-0 to Brentford, and it's Josh De Silva.
De Gea took it as easy, took his eye off the ball, I should say, but I think there may be more than that, a little bit chocolate fingers. That is so sloppy from David De Gea.
Called again here, United in their own area, chance, goal!
Shocking.
It's Jensen for Brentford.
Shocking.
From a Manchester United goal kick to 2-0 to Brentford. In seconds, it might be Southampton in the 90s all over again. Change the kit at half-time because something has gone dramatically wrong.
Is there a law saying that you have to play out from the 6-yard box, otherwise it's null and void what you do next? Because that is football madness.
Corner kick to Brentford on the attacking right-hand side, their second corner of the match. Mbeumo takes it, deep delivery, big rise at the back post, on the goal line! It's the third! It's a third goal for Brentford, and it's Ben Mee!
Poor defending. All over, with a poor performance as well at this moment in time.
Fred keeps it right to Dalot, low ball. Sancho, nice turn, intercepted though by two converging Brentford defenders. It was Matthias Jensen who got there first, and he clears it long up towards Toney, and there's a break on, and it's into Mbeumo for goal! to Brentford. This is the massacre of Manchester United in West London. 80 minutes now played, folks. It's Brentford 4, Manchester United 0, as it's been since the 35th minute. There has been no great comeback from the Red Devils. Malacia, left to Rashford. Low ball. Eriksen! Oh, he's missed it. Eriksen on the volley, left-footed, hooked it towards goal. I just thought that was going to nestle in and the comeback might have begun, but it's gone wide. Brentford 4, Manchester United 0. Paul Parker's already gone. We are out of time. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Previously on White and Jordan.
Well, if we didn't budget for this money, surely we want to give it to our lesser cousins. Yes, and the moon's made of cheese, right?
Clash of the Simon.
The modern day fairy tale today in English football almost inevitably involves money.
There's no such thing as a no-score draw.
But this will be an exercise in goodwill, something that the Premier League is bereft of.
How biased is Trevor? Sort it out. Seriously, sort it out.
White and Jordan.
The nation's primary destination for a triple distilled opinion and blistering debate.
Weekday mornings from 10 on the world-famous Talksport.
Times Radio.
I'm Mariella Frostrup. Join me as I talk to renowned guests about the worlds of culture, lifestyle and entertainment.
Including Sir Michael Palin.
Python's always been, I think, a nice mix. It's about human behaviour and what we do and how we sort of mess ourselves up.
And Werner Herzog.
When you look at family romance, it's a deeply humanistic film. It is a very essential of my films.
From auteurs to icons, artists to activists. Join me, Mariella Frostrup, for the radio show dedicated to exploring the ideas that shape our times.
Mariella Frostrup.
Monday to Thursday afternoons from 1
on Times Radio.
Stories of our times from the Times and the Sunday Times.
One agenda-setting story told in depth by experts.
I'm Manveen Rana.
I'm David Aronovich. Go beyond the headlines with original quality journalism and exclusive interviews.
What happens in the next year may define this country for the next 40 years.
We take you to the heart of the stories that matter. With exclusive access and reporting, you'll hear from the best and most informed journalists from the UK's most trusted newspaper. It's published for the start of your day, and you can listen for free on the Times Radio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search The Stories of Our Times.
John Pienaar at Drive, Monday to Thursday afternoon from 4 on Times Radio.
We're going to be talking about the news. We're going to be discussing it and explaining it.
Join John Pienaar for the Drive Time show dedicated to the news that matters and the views that need to be heard.
I'm going to give people the time and space to tell us what they think. And I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm going to help you make up your mind.
Trusted news, insight and opinion that speaks for itself. John Pienaar at Drive.
4 to 7, Monday to Thursday.
On Times Radio.
Hey, I'm Brian Dunseth from SiriusXM-FC. Every Monday, join Tom Rennie and me as we go all around the soccer world on our podcast, Week in the Tackle.
Enter our private circle.
From the significant...
There is a lot of reason to think they are going to win this tournament.
...to the absurd.
This little car comes on, like...
We cover the soccer stories we find interesting on Week in the Tackle. Available for free on Stitcher or your favorite podcast platform.
I think we did everything excellent, and you can see they were struggling.
So they couldn't cope with our pressure, couldn't cope with your pressure in particular. Just tell us about your role in that press.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was either me or Josh Da Silva in this situation. We had to put the pressure on their 6.
2 goals, 2 assists. 2 goals, 2 assists.
Game better and kick it long, and I try to play maybe when I shouldn't play to Christian, but of course we always try to play, we always try to have the ball, but sometimes like today they press 1 against 1 to the whole pitch, so I should read better today.
I know you're being big, you're fronting up, you're taking responsibility, but does the fact that one mistake from yourself ends in a 4-0 defeat, does that show how fragile you are as a group at the moment, how fragile that confidence is?
Of course we are not like all the teams that they concede 1 goal and then they win 5-1 or 6-1, so that doesn't matter if they made a mistake. This is why I think I cost today 3 points, because it was an easy save and it was 1-0 for them, and I feel it already. The team was going down, and of course, like I said, we have to react much better and be capable of score goals at least, and it was a poor performance.
Does it just feel though, after a really promising pre-season, like really easily the scars of last season have been reopened?
Yeah, I think it's too easy to play